Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Hello, everyone. That is beautiful. Beautiful early morning official weigh-in music for UFC 273. Coming in live from Jacksonville, Florida, in the county that we all know as Duval. Oh, I want to build up to it. I didn't want to throw it out there. All right, guys. Welcome everyone watching the stream. As I said, this is the official weigh-ins for UFC 273. We are very lucky. We are blessed to have Jose Youngs and Mike Heck in Jacksonville as we speak. There is Mike Heck's face, and of course, Jose will be handling doing his usual expert technical acumen, making sure we see all the fighters hit the scale. And of course, we have EKC Leiden in the truck, and I will be your host for the weigh-ins as usual, Alexander Kaley. Thanks everyone. I'll throw up a poll in a second. Sorry, I got to fire off this tweet. Mike, give us a vibe check. What's the vibe like down there at specifically at the weigh-ins?
I mean, I think the volume can only be explained based on the fire of this tweet. So I think you're the one that's going to put us over the top. There are a lot of people in this room right now, like behind us. There's a lot of like teams and corners and coaches. Like it's a good group. It's starting to get loud, starting to fill up. Getting the goosebumps here. See? Here we go. We're getting going. Feeling the goosebumps, AK. We're cut.
Oh my.
This is gonna be a big card. It's starting to really feel like it's gonna be a special night. Like honestly, I have that vibe.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, I think listen, this is the first of 3 pay-per-views coming up with 2 title fights. It does have that lead-off kind of energy. I mean, it's its own thing, but it does have that lead-off energy. And maybe the biggest fight that of all the 3 pay-per-view cards coming up, a non-title fight, Gilbert and Khamzat Chimaev, which sounds crazy because I think people are pretty excited about Volkanovski and Zombie, not as much as they would be about the Holloway trilogy, but it's a great fight. And then of course the grudge match, long awaited, finally getting some resolution, hopefully, between Aljamain Sterling and Petr Yan. So those are, I think, pretty highly anticipated. But
all right, thank y'all for being here for the official weigh-in for UFC 273. Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie, and we will begin with the man around whom this fight card was built. The undisputed UFC featherweight champion, Alexander the Great.
Champ in the main events coming up first.
Official weight 144.5 for the champion, Alexander Volkanovski.
144.5 for Alexander Volkanovski. No surprise there. The champ rarely has trouble making weight, even though he is a straight diesel.
Is the featherweight title challenger, the 4th-ranked contender in the world, the Korean Zombie, Chan Sung Jung.
And there we go. We're getting our challenger right away. Here comes the Korean Zombie.
Well, the Korean Zombie, Chan Sung Jung, and UFC featherweight championship main event is official.
Wow. I was going to say.
He took your job.
I know. Let him. He needs this. Let him have it. Listen, he's been pronouncing Manuel
wrong all this time. Meeting on the main card live on pay-per-view, the 7th-ranked strawweight in the world, Tiny Tornado Tecia Torres.
All right, just in case for anyone who couldn't hear, that was 144.5 for the Korean Zombie, Chan Sung Jung, same as the champion, Alexander Volkanovski, 144.5. We'll have this lovely graphic, guys, on screen. So please, you do not need to message, oh, did so-and-so weigh? This is really a message for people later. You guys listening, you early birds know. Here comes Tecia Torres.
115 and a half. 115 and a half, the official weight for Tecia Torres.
115.5 for the Tiny Tornado, Tecia Torres, putting on a gun show as always. I saw people talking about that at the press conference.
All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in the UFC's bantamweight division, Daniel Santos.
Her and Mackenzie Dern both looking in incredible shape. Well, I'm sure everyone looking forward to Mackenzie Dern's weigh-in later to. We have a little typo on the graphic, Casey. Mackenzie Burns, which would be an amazing amalgamation of talents. The jiu-jitsu level would be crazy. But I was going to say, her weigh-in drama seems to be behind her. We'll see later today. I don't know how I missed that. I'm sorry, guys.
135. 135, the official weight for Daniel Santos.
Daniel Santos opening up the entire card against Julio Arce. Successfully makes weight.
Championship weight.
Championship weight.
He's ready to fill in.
In the UFC strawweight division, Petr Rodriguez.
Here comes one of the debutants today, Petr Rodriguez. But if anyone wants to know, Daniel Santos, by the way, nicknamed Willy Cat, apparently a Thundercats reference. That's a hat tip to Guillermo Cruz, of course, for giving us the tip on that. Same camp as Shitara, which is also a Thundercats reference. So I don't know what's going on. They love the Thundercats out there.
Their weight. $115. 115 pounds, the official weight for Petr Rodriguez.
115 championship weight for Petr Rodriguez. Coming along here.
All right, next we welcome the UFC's bantamweight champion back for the first time in more than a year, the Funk Master Aljamain Sterling.
The
There
champ.
we go. One half of the co-main. The champ, technically the undisputed champ.
Technically.
Hey, I'm just saying. There's a lot of people.
Not undisputed. Not undisputed.
It's weirdly not undisputed, but I mean, he is technically the undisputed champ if we're going by what they title it. But we will have an undisputed champion after this weekend. Fingers crossed. One 134.5, I believe. Sorry, I had a little bit of trouble hearing that. 134.5 for Aljamain Sterling. Looking shredded. Incredible shape.
That was pretty intense.
I mean, look. He'll also compete live on pay-per-view in the UFC welterweight division, 11th ranked and undefeated Khamzat Chimaev.
Oh man.
Oh, who's this guy? I'm not familiar.
This
So if
is
you don't
one
know,
of those debutantes you're talking about.
Yeah, he's a
right?
prospect out of
All
Stars, and he's
That's what I was saying. Oh, Alexander Gustafsson's gym. Oh, okay. That's why didn't you say so?
European prospect. Yeah.
One.
The official weight for Khamzat Chimaev.
170. Of course, he made championship weight. He's got to make that statement. Khamzat Chimaev, 170.
As a big
On the
welterweight.
I mean, right now, I'm including Conor McGregor in this. Right now, the most talked about non-champion in the UFC.
Our next fighter to the scale, also competing on pay-per-view in the strawweight division, 5th ranked, Mackenzie Dern.
Oh, I think he's the most talked about outside of Conor. He's the most talked about fighter in the sport right
Just
now.
period. Oh.
Yeah.
I would say technically, I mean, not mainstream wise, but in the MMA discussion, I think he's more talked about than Conor right now, right? I think that's fair to say. Obviously, it's fight week, but I mean, just in general.
I guess literally today, but
Yeah. Within the fight community, within the fight community, mainstream, of course, there's no topping Conor. Conor's the first name that comes up with everyone. But.
Mackenzie Burns.
Mackenzie Burns.
115.5. The official weight for Mackenzie Dern.
115.5 for Mackenzie Dern, guys. No problems here. Please, everyone, go to MMAfighting.com. Read Guillermo Cruz's great.
Our next fighter to the scale is the former undisputed UFC bantamweight champion, now the UFC's interim bantamweight champion.
Well, here comes Petr Yan. So after Petr Yan weighs in, go read. Please go read Guillermo's article interviewing one of her coaches.
Are we not giving?
Oh my gosh, Mackenzie Dern versus Tecia Torres. It's now official.
Okay, I can see why we gave that job to Anik because
I'm promoting our site. That's more important.
yeah, I'm promoting our site.
I don't sound like that.
Don't
like,
this one.
That sounded like Esther Lynn. One. 1-3-4 for Petr Yan. His fight with Aljamain Sterling is now official. Anik interrupting me. Jeez. 1 pound.
Next athlete to this game competing in a featured bout. Live on pay-per-view, the welterweight division, former world title challenger, number 2 in the world, Gilbert Dorino.
Dorino. All right, guys.
$170, the official weight for Gilbert Burns.
170 for Gilbert Burns and his fight with Khamzat. It's now official. So we're just 10 minutes in, guys, barely, and our top 3 fights are all official. The featherweight championship bout, bantamweight championship bout, and the number 1 contenders bout in the welterweight division, Gilbert Burns and Khamzat Chimaev, also official. As is Mackenzie Dern, Tecia Torres. So the top 4 fights.
They were number 1 contender behind Leon Edwards.
Well, we'll talk about that. We will be talking about that plenty over the next 48 hours, I'm sure. I'm sure anyone who listened to Heck of a Morning today got Mike Heck's take on it. It was not, I mean, I should say, it was favorable for Leon Edwards in a way. I shouldn't say it was not favorable. This is one of our other debutants today, Mike Malott, the pride of Waterdown, Ontario. Of course, now training with Team Alpha Male, but good old Canadian boy.
Waterdown.
Shout out to Duval. Oh, I mean, wait, Waterdown? I don't know. Waterdown. If you're from Waterdown, guys, you have a Waterdown, chant, salute, whatever. Please let me know in the chat, and I'll gladly shout that out. No fake answers, please. If there are any Waterdownians out there, please be honest. But yes, again,
watered down.
Our top 4 fights are all official so far. So the main card is just about set. Just waiting for Vinc Pichel and Mark Madsen from that list. And then we only have about 8 prelims, none of which are official yet. I think a lot of people, as far as the prelims go, will want to be looking at the weigh-in of Aspen Ladd. She'll be fighting Raquel Pennington. Aspen Ladd returning to 135. Has not actually competed at 135 since December 2019. Had some fights booked at 135, but of course there's been some weigh-in issues. Has not been able to make it. She fought 145 her last fight, a loss to Norma Dumont on short notice, doing a favor for the UFC, jumping in to fight Norma Dumont and save a main event, one of the more low-profile main events, I would say, in recent memory. But yes, all eyes will be on her. I was hoping we would see her in the first half an hour, so there's still time. Like I said, we're only about 10, 15 minutes in. I would like to see Aspen Ladd in the first hour, make that statement, shut all of us up in the media, shut up all these talking heads. Mike, I don't know if you've had a chance, if you've seen Aspen Ladd at all during the week or her team, and got any insight there on how that weight cut is going?
I've not seen her at all since I've been here. Maybe that's a good thing. I will say, like, if you just follow her on social media, you could see how much more intense her strength and conditioning is. She knew that was something that she needed to work on. She jumped on it right away. And it wasn't very long after the Dumont fight that she started that process. So I don't think it's going to be an issue. At least I hope not. I mean, if it is an issue today, then this will be the last time she tries to win at 135 for a long time. But I actually think she's going to make it today. If everything I've seen is, any indication, just the people I've talked to as well about it, they say like she's taking it very seriously. It's not going to be an issue, and I'm going to take them at their word for now. But of course, we got to see her step on the scale and see what that old number comes up looking like. AK.
Did her camp suggest that she wasn't taking it seriously before, or that she made changes? Because I think she's always taken it seriously, but maybe she was taking the wrong approach. No,
Right,
I'm actually wondering. I mean, like, what was there actually changes she made, or was she just?
Well, I mean, she would train. She would do certain things. She was a big hiker. Like, would just loved climbing mountains with her dogs. Like, she loved doing that. But I think she realized that at this point, as her body continues to evolve, you need to do more. You need to get in there and do the strength leadership. You do a lot more cardio. You got to do all these other things. So I think it's not like she wasn't trying, but I think it's more scientific now. It's more pinpoint of what she's trying to accomplish. And I think the PI's helping her too, like setting her up with the right plan. And then she's just getting after it and implementing it. And, that's just what it is. She's a big, strong woman. And now it's just trying to not only make the weight, but make it in a healthy way. And I think that's the most important thing is doing it healthy. So we don't see what we saw a couple of weigh-ins ago where she almost passed out. We don't want to see that. So I think it's more on just health, taking it seriously and having more of a scientific approach.
And Pennington, I think she's only missed weight once. I think she's usually pretty good.
Yeah. Did she miss? Who did she miss? Did she miss?
Yeah, she missed. She's missed before.
She missed it before her fight against GDR in Denver. We were both there. Remember they had the towel out.
Yes.
Couldn't find it.
Yes.
So we were sitting there just dying.
I'm looking at it. I had to look it up. November 2018. Yeah. November 2018.
And
that's right, Denver, Colorado.
From my memory, I think there were some lady issues that week that Pennington kind of mentioned. So give her a mulligan for that one.
That card headlined by a little fight between Korean Zombie and Yair Rodriguez. Again, no one talks about that fight or that finish anymore. Pretty forgettable featherweight encounter. I don't think anyone recalls what happened there.
Yeah, I watched the first 24 minutes and 55 seconds. I was like, I'm good.
I had to go to bed.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh well, Zombie's got this one in the bag.
I was like, it's 24 minutes done, 50 seconds. I'm good. I'm gonna beat traffic and get out of here.
You want to check out at just the right time, Casey. That's the key. Well, surprise, guys! I've thrown up a poll in the YouTube chat. I know you guys didn't expect it. I have done a poll. Very simple. What fight are you most looking forward to on Saturday, UFC 273? I only listed the top 3 fights. I know, sorry, no disrespect to anyone else fighting the card.
That's not disrespect, but go.
It's a little.
Say that.
That is disrespectful.
Legally,
I have to say no disrespect.
Okay.
But I think we all know how much disrespect is implied by my only including Volkanovski versus Zombie, Sterling versus Yan 2, and Burns versus Chimaev. And Burns versus Chimaev running away with it early, 70%. 70%.
Why? Why do we think this is? Is because it's not Burns Chimaev, it's Chimaev.
Mike?
Chimaev is just, there's an aura around this guy. It's crazy. He is huge. Like, he is a monster. He looks big on television. He looks like a giant in person. It's crazy how big this guy is. And him making 170 is just wild. But he has built this aura around himself. And I actually, one of the questions I continue to have with people who have been in the business for a while, especially in the UFC, is have we ever seen anything like this guy before? Have we ever seen anything like Khamzat? Because we've had fighters emerge
the fighter
and do so
or just
rapidly.
The aura coming in? What do you mean?
Everything. Because even when Conor had the rocket strapped to him and they were the UFC was pushing him to the moon, he had his fans, of course, and he drew interest in a lot of ways. But he was also like babyface Roman Reigns in a lot of ways, where people thought the UFC was just kind of shoving him down their throat. And after every fight, there was questions. Well, what if he fights a wrestler? What if he fights a right-handed fighter? What's he going to do if he gets taken down? He hasn't fought anybody. It's all these questions. Every single fight, even after he beat Chad Mendes, they were still asking those questions. With Chimaev, yeah, you talk about we need to boost up in competition to see how this guy really is, right? Goes on Fight Island, wins the 2 fights in 10 days. do you remember like those post shows and stuff like that? After those 2 fights in 10 days, we were talking about throwing this guy into a title fight, like just to see. Like that was like things people were talking about. Like we knew immediately how special this guy could be and was. And we were ready. We were saying everything from let's build this guy slow, AK, to let's just throw him in there with the top 5 guy. And since the Gerald Meerschaert win, we don't really have questions. We just feel like this guy's the real, and we just want to see how it happens. We just want to make sure we're right. I don't think we've ever had that before. You know what I mean? Like even with like a lot of these emerging guys, I mean, it's like excuses and questions and like, oh, well, if he fights this guy, he's going to lose. The aura around Chimaev, if you see the fans and talk to them and the questions were being asked, they're not saying that. It's no if, it's when. And that's what's so interesting about this guy. And the way people view him, especially fans, once in a lifetime athlete, once in a lifetime fighter. Like every 5-10 years, you see a guy like this. That's how people look at him right now. It's no if. It's just, how does he beat Gilbert Burns? It's like emphatic. There's no question in people's minds that Chimaev's going to win this fight, which is wild to me. It's wild. The question I've gotten asked the most as I've gotten here is Khamzat going to, when is he going to finish Gilbert? Is he going to do it early or is he going to torture him? Like, that's what everyone is asking me. On the fans who walk up to me and ask me questions, that's the question I continuously get. When is he going to finish Gilbert Burns? It's just wild. I've never seen anything like it where it's so positive for one fighter and people, it's just when is it going to happen? When's he fighting for the title? They all believe that he's going to go in there and just run through Gilbert Burns. He's going to push Leon Edwards out of the way and fight Kamaru Usman in July and be the champion. Like, it's nuts. I've never seen anything like it to this degree.
Yeah, I mean, look, that sums it. Like you said, it's that mystique. It is the unknown. It sounds so silly. I get why Casey questions it because we have these amazing fighters in the main event, and co-main event. Chan Sung Jung, one of the most exciting fighters in MMA history, regardless of weight class, against Alexander Volkanovski, who, when it's all said and done, again, probably needs a few more wins on his resume, could usurp Max Holloway and Jose Aldo as the greatest featherweight. Okay, we have movement. I'll wax poetic on the bantamweight title fight in a moment. Mike, do you have any idea who it? We have movement. We don't see the fighter yet. Okay,
that's it there.
Guesses. Any guesses?
Was that comment towards me because I said people thought that? Did I say I thought that?
No.
I said people were talking about that. You're what a
Mike.
dummy.
Mike.
This is supposed to be Florida, Mike. Don't do it.
Here comes Mickey Gall, 170. Mike, you're a man of the people. You speak for the people. You don't speak just for yourself, and I hope people understand that. You were asked what is the buzz about, right? So you were speaking to the buzz, not your own opinion. Yeah. Here's Mickey Gall. $170.5 for Mickey Gall, same as his opponent, the debuting Mike Malott, and that means that fight is official. Mickey looking relaxed, great shape as always.
Is Mickey Gall considered? Is he still a prospect or a weak?
I mean,
Mickey Gall.
Here comes Vinc Pichel weighing in for the main card opener. Mickey Gall, it's crazy. I just looked the other day and I'm like, he's 30. And that doesn't mean you can't be a prospect. That does not make you not a prospect. But he's 30 and has been in the UFC for quite a few years now.
Yeah.
Let's see Vinc Pichel here first. We'll talk more about Mickey Gall in a moment.
$155.5. $155.5. The official weight for Vinc Pichel.
155.5 for Vinc Pichel. We are just waiting now on his opponent, Olympic silver medalist Mark Madsen, for the to complete the main card. But yeah, Mickey Gall, he's 30, which is still somewhat young.
So I interviewed Mickey Gall. You're going to see that on YouTube, and he threw out a number that kind of just shocked me. This is his 11th UFC fight. That's crazy. Yeah. You wouldn't think that, but it's true.
Well, he only has one fight outside the UFC. His 12th pro fight. That's it.
Exactly.
$185.5 for Josh. I'm not your friend. Former regional standout.
Wow.
Stepping in.
Very negative. I was going to go Josh, friend at the show.
No. He is, when he gets in there, he is not your friend. I think his opponents need to know that. This guy has some very...
in there right now.
He has some very exciting finishes on his record. Go, guys. Check out his... I think all his LFA stuff is on Fight Pass. He gets in there. He gets in there to get out. He's one of those guys. So
that fight's going to be awesome.
He's kind of stepping in on short. Here comes Marco Madsen, as I said, to complete the main card. But yeah, Josh Fremd stepping in here to kind of resolve this bizarre Anthony Hernandez, Calvin Gastelum, Dricus du Plessis situation we had. We'll talk about that a bit more later.
Oh, there we go. I'm looking forward to one of the commentators tomorrow calling him O Madsen. Great takedown by O Madsen.
155 for Mark O Madsen. His fight with Vinc Pichel is now official. Does this guy have an ounce of body fat on him? My goodness, this guy, you throw him in the ocean, he's sinking right to the bottom. That is just like I said, that is a silver medal winning Olympian in wrestling and a pro MMA fighter. You're gonna be in shape. Let's put it that way. You're gonna be
medal.
In shape.
Sounds like the first loser.
2016 Olympics silver medal for the Dane.
Like we giving out participation medals now? Come on.
Listen, we can't all be undefeated fighters. Like someone here, I'm not going to mention it. We talked about it enough. All right, the moment is past, for God's sakes. Great job by you. So great. The whole main card is set, guys. The whole main card.
Yeah.
Volkanovski, Zombie, Sterling, Jan, Burns, Chimaev, Mackenzie, Dern, Tecia, Torres, Vinc Pichel, Mark O Madsen. So there we go. We're just waiting on the prelims. One of the fights official so far. We'll give you guys a rundown soon. I just wanted to finish the thought about. Well, actually, I need this to be explained to me. So Josh Fremd, as I said, stepping in to fight Anthony Hernandez. What was the original sort of? There were a couple of middleweight fights that were supposed to take place on this card, right, Mike?
I got you, AK. I got you, AK. Let me just
great fight was off this card.
So it was Dricus du Plessis, Chris Curtis. Yep. Yes. Albert Duraev was supposed to fight Anthony Hernandez, and then literally, like at the same day, we reported Curtis and Duraev were both out. So they just matched up DDP and Hernandez, and then we lost Nasruddin Imavov, who's supposed to fight Kelvin Gastelum. So they just bumped up DDP to fight Kelvin Gastelum. And then Josh Fremd, who just got a contract on Dana White's looking for a fight from that FAC card, he comes in on short notice because it works out because Vinc Pichel, who's his teammate, is also on the card. And there we go. And then we lose Kelvin Gastelum, and then we lose DDP, and this is what we have now, which is still a really good fight. But what a fascinating start to this card at 185, and now where it's at now, it's a fun story. It's a fun.
That's pretty simple. I don't know why I was confused. You made that sound so simple.
Why wasn't Duplessis Hernandez booked? I don't.
He said it was right. Was that not one of the?
Why wasn't it rebooked?
Because they already they already brought Josh in, and that'd be like, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's pretty obvious by now. I mean, I'm not telling any foibles here. I'm not breaking any news, but the plan. So there was talks about doing Dricus du Plessis versus Andre Muniz on this card, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, because Uriah Hall is out of that fight.
Exactly.
Oh, we have one of the other. If it weren't for Khamzat, the most talked about prospect on this card, I mean, Khamzat's not a prospect anymore, but the most talked about non-champion, Ian Garry.
Is Khamzat not a prospect?
I don't think he can be anymore.
I think this is the fight, though. This is the fight to kind of jump him out of that.
170.5 for Ian Garry.
All right.
Yeah, it'd be like saying. I mean, I hate to compare. I always hate comparing MMA to other sports. It'd be like saying like John Morant is like a prospect still, because I think he's in what, third or fourth year. It's like there comes a point where you just elevate your game to a certain level, and your fame. That's like calling you a prospect sounds. It sounds weird. It's like
beaten Gilbert Burns yet.
Yeah, but you don't have to go. He's clearly like so pretty highly ranked. I mean, again, someone on our staff, not anyone here.
I know, but we're going kind of on futures here with Chimaev. Like he still has to beat Gilbert Burns.
He does.
We're very much talking like the fight's already done.
But I think win or lose, he's no longer a prospect. That's the thing. I think he's just by getting this fight, he's no longer a prospect. He doesn't have to win it. Winning it makes him like the clear #1 contender, top 3 welterweight in the world. This will just mean if he loses, he's not top 3, not top 4, top 5, whatever, however you want to rank it. But he's still not a prospect anymore. I don't think it matters whether he beats Gilbert or not. He's just kind of surpassed that kind of talk. It sounds strange because he has less professional fights than Mickey Gall. And we're kind of asking, is Mickey Gall a prospect? It's an odd label. It's a difficult label in MMA, because then people have the perception. Well, let's say someone has 15 fights. Oh, but they only have 1 fight in the UFC. So they're a prospect. It's like, but okay, this person has 8 fights. They fought 3 times in the UFC. Are they not a prospect? Then there's the age thing. When did they get into the sport? It's MMA. People can get in when they're 20. People can get in when they're 30. So it is tricky. I don't think he's a prospect. Khamzat Chimaev, Mike. I don't know if you feel the same way.
I think.
I think he's. I mean, I don't know. If he is a prospect, he's like a super duper prospect. He's like the prospect. But
oh yeah, I mean that's. But I assume he's a prospect. Like we're not seeing him at his full potential. Like he's still on that upward trajectory as far as skill set.
How terrifying is that?
Well, we don't know. That's what we find out Saturday.
Maybe we have seen it all. We don't know.
We don't know.
No, we'll see. This was a great booking. I mean, this was a booking I think for a while. I think immediately after the Li Jingliang fight. Excuse me. I don't know if Burns was the first name, but it was certainly one that was thrown out by a lot of people on our matchmaking show, just on social media, just saying, yeah, this is Burns. Of course, has wanted this fight. He's wanted to fight Khamzat. He keeps saying, my goal is to get back to the belt, but I want to beat the best guys on the way there. I'm not going to sit around and wait for a title shot. So excellent matchmaking. We had to wait a little bit. It did get delayed a little bit, but
I'm gonna be controversial and
do it. Oh my gosh!
I liked the Chimaev Neil Magny fight way more than this fight.
Yeah, I would have preferred that.
I like the Neil Magny fight way more. I think actually Neil Magny is a tougher matchup for Chimaev. I think Gilbert Burns is a better fighter, but I think matchup wise, Magny's a tougher matchup for Chimaev. But this is the fight we got. It's a bigger fight for the UFC, of course, because Gilbert Burns is just a more recognizable name.
Featured prison live on ESPN in the welterweight division. He is Darian Weeks.
Oh, Darian Weeks. I'm sorry, I almost missed. Darian Weeks weighing in to fight Ian Garry. Yeah, and even just the size-wise case, even Neil Magny, I think people are going to be shocked when they see. I mean, they know that Chimaev's a lot bigger than Burns. I think when they even see them in the cage, it's going to be even more pronounced. People are going to be like, holy crap. This is a lightweight fighting a middleweight. Like, it's just going to look, it's going to look real scary.
The former lightweight.
Uh-huh.
The official weight for Darian Weeks.
170.5 for Darian Weeks, matching his opponent Ian Garry, and that featured ESPN preliminary is now official. Darian Weeks not pacing himself as he competes in the UFC. He made his debut on short notice against Brian Barberena, and now he faces one of the hottest prospects in the sport, arguably the hottest if you don't count Khamzat Chimaev. Because
Khamzat's not a prospect. You just said it, man. Come on, stick to the story.
I listen, Casey. I'm a man of the people, like Mike. I listen. If people say Khamzat's a prospect, I'll entertain it. I don't agree. I think
he is. But
yeah. I think he's clearly in the ranks of contenders. I think you can be an improving fighter and not be a prospect. I think he's beyond it. I think he's beyond prospect. I don't think the results of Saturday. It'll tell us a lot about him, but I think prospect status has already been lifted. But yes, we are now. That's a top 6 fights now official. The main card, five fight main card, plus our featured preliminary on ESPN. That's a really great fight too. Ian Garry and Darian Weeks. Darian Weeks going with the For anyone who didn't check, we did a round table, myself and Jed Mashu discussing the value and risk of taking short notice fights, specifically for the UFC, because the risk is so high, the reward is so high. Darren Weeks clearly going the high risk, high reward route.
Comes Rocky.
Raquel Pennington. But yeah, so Darren Weeks can upset Ian Garry. It would be huge for him. So hopefully he does not become a statistic and just get KO'd by the future. But that's gonna be one to watch.
KO'd by the future.
It's happened to a lot of us.
$134.5.
134.5 for the one-time UFC title contender, Raquel Pennington.
Have Pennington and Torres fought in the same card before? I feel like they have.
Yes, they have.
Okay.
I want to say just once. I thought the card where she missed weight. Did they not fight on that card together?
I don't remember Tecia fighting in Denver.
Jose, do you have any recollection of Raquel? I know they have. I just cannot remember which one.
Okay.
They talked about it.
Second.
Okay.
Yeah, because Tecia was saying that she actually enjoyed it that time because she fought first.
Oh.
And she could go and like watch Raquel. It was easier for her.
First. Yeah, it's easier. So.
But this time, like Raquel fights first and then she fights. So.
Just 8 fighters left to weigh in, guys. We got a couple of heavyweights, so no worries there. Aspen Ladd again. A lot of recent. 4 heavyweights, including, fingers crossed, Aleksei Oleinik going for. Get that graphic ready. Going for win number 60. Thank you, Jared Vanderaa, for stepping in and saving this, because it was touch and go for a while. Because they tried to rebook him and Latifi. It was obviously too soon for the reasons that their fight was delayed the first time. Jared Vanderaa being a hero, stepping in to fight Oleinik. And again, hey, maybe stopping win number 60 again. We'll see. As I was saying, Aspen Ladd, a lot of drama surrounding her weigh-ins over the last 2 years. Her opponent has just successfully weighed in. We are hoping to see her hit the scale without issue, and then and a few other names. But
what were you asking, AK? Sorry.
Sorry. Do you recall what card Tecia Torres and Raquel Pennington have fought on the same card?
I want to say it was Rashad Glover.
Wow, what a pull. Let me see. Let me check this out. I bet you're right. Rashad and Glover. What that was Rashad and Glover. Tampa. Oh, here we go. I see it. We had Tecia Torres. This is one where Tecia did not fight first, but yes, correct. Tecia Torres lost to Rose Namajunas, and Raquel Pennington beat Betch Correia. So what a pull! That's definitely one. So they might have done it more than once.
Yeah,
well done, Jose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so that instance was different. But wow, this is back in April 2016, and Rose Namajunas beating Tecia Torres. I believe that was a rematch, if I'm not mistaken. I think
that was one of the cards that Tony Ferguson was supposed to fight Habib.
Oh.
I'm also pretty sure Dan Henderson was supposed to rematch Lyoto Machida on that card.
Oh. Yes.
There's like a lot of tomfoolery happening in that card.
I don't know how you do this. That's a steel trap. I'm looking at the events page right now, and I cannot remember all the stuff you just said. All right. I guess. Casey, go ahead.
Oh, you were saying earlier before we got interrupted by Miss Pennington about taking short notice fights or something.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What were you saying?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, go to MMAfighting.com. Read our roundtable that Jed and I did, just discussing again whether it's worth taking risks. I think Darren Weeks is a perfect example, because we could see this guy go 0-2 in the UFC. Maybe he gets another chance because, again, this is his. This is not a short notice, but he stepped on a short notice to fight Brian Barberena. Now he's fighting a top prospect in Ian Garry. He's giving him a nice spot too, so you have to hope even if he loses.
This is the prime prospect spot. The main event, the last free fight before the pay-per-view. This is the one actually, technically the most eyes will be watching.
And again, obviously, I think it's Ian Garry. The UFC's positioning. He was a high-profile signing. He's undefeated, young guy. He can't avoid these Conor McGregor comparisons. I mean, I think he's different in many ways, but people see an exciting prospect from Europe and just get all all in a tizzy.
Is he here to take over?
Oh gosh, someone should ask that. I'm surprised it hasn't been asked yet. But yeah, but hey, Darren, listen, this is MMA. We've seen so many crazy things happen. Darren, listen, I know Darren Weeks is being brought in. I assume is he not the biggest underdog, or is Gilbert Burns?
It's got to be Burns.
Let me look it up. Oh, no. We'll go to our friends at DraftKings.
He's definitely not a.
Not as big. This is interesting, and the real, not betting wise, but on Tapology, Darren Weeks is the biggest underdog on the card.
Oh, I'm looking at it.
9% of fans predicting him to win.
9%.
But don't worry, Aljamain Sterling and Mr. Zombie are at 10%. So if we get some more votes in there, it might even out. But right now, he is the biggest underdog at 9%.
And
Gilbert Burns at 13%.
Zombie's the biggest actual betting dog.
Zombie
plus 525.
Oh, okay.
Volkanovski's approaching minus 800 as a favorite.
Yeah, that's fair. Again, he's coming in as a replacement opponent. I think people just see style-wise, it really feels like Volkanovski has the perfect style to counter the Korean Zombie. But listen, Korean Zombie is so dangerous. That's what makes that such a fun fight.
What's the perfect style to be Korean Zombie?
Evasive, man. Evasive. I mean, Volkanovski does get hit. Oddly, for a guy who's very evasive, he has gotten gotten hit. But I guess people just don't put Zombie on the level of Ortega. I mean, Ortega did kind of wash him, and then and certainly not Max Holloway, which is maybe just a notch below, which is still elite. But that's probably the thing.
Guys can MMA math. I like it.
Yeah, I do. I didn't even have to use the calculator there. I know our budget's a little stretched. We did fly out Mike and Jose on the luxury MMA fighting jet. It made quite a commotion. So I was not allowed to use the MMA fighting math calculator, but that's okay. I've got the arithmetic up here.
Are you ready for a rundown?
Yeah, I was about to say. I think it's time. to do the rain dance. See if we can draw one of these fighters out. Go ahead, guys.
All right, hold on one moment.
Waiting for the music. Oh, there we go. All right, UFC 273 going on tomorrow night in Jacksonville. The first 6 fights, or the final 6 fights, on the card are official. Alexander Volkanovski, Korean Zombie, featherweight title main event. Both fighters weighed in at 144.5. Bantamweight title on the line in the co-main event. Unification bout. Aljamain Sterling, the champ, 134.5. Takes on Petr Yan, the interim champ, who weighed in at 134. Gilbert Burns, Khamzat Chimaev, everybody's talking about it. Both weighted at 170. Mackenzie Dern, 115.5, takes on Tecia Torres. Big one at 115. Torres weighted at 115.5 as well. Main card opens with Vinc Pichel taking on Marc Madsen. Pichel weighted at 155.5, Madsen 155. Ian Garry versus Darian Weeks. ESPN featured prelim bout. Both fighters weighted at 170.5. Still waiting on Jairzinho Rozenstruik and Marcin Tybura. Raquel Pennington weighted at 134.5. Still awaiting the arrival of Aspen Ladd. Mickey Gall, 170.5, takes on Mike Malott. Also weighted at 170.5. Still waiting on Aleksei Oleinik, sitting on 59 wins to hit the scale. And Jared Vanderaa as well. Josh Fremd makes weight, 185.5 for his octagon debut. He'll take on Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, who has yet to hit the scale. Pieta Rodriguez, rated at 115 for her UFC debut. She takes on Kay Hansen, who has yet to hit the scale. And in a fight that I think is going to deliver in spades, the first fight of the night, Daniel Santos, weighted at 135. He will take on Julio Arce, who is yet to step on the scale, gentlemen. Back to you.
Fantastic. What a read. What a read from this guy. Yeah, I agree. Listen, bantamweights, they always love it. Willie Cat, guys, watch out for Willie Cat. I don't know. I mean, Julio Arce is pretty tough, but I do like Daniel Santos quite a bit. So
that fight is going to be amazing. That has Dong Hyun Kim, Marco Polo Reyes vibes to it.
Wow.
Where
high praise. The other that was the other. Mute, so. That was a Maestro, right?
Yeah, Maestro.
Camera. Yes, not the stun gun. I see a comment. Where are you, stun gun? Stun gun, come back. I don't think is he officially retired? I don't recall hearing that. Heck is better than Buffer. I agree. I see that in the comments. I'm just Guys, feel free to leave comments. Of course, Casey will grab them. Listen, we were just talking about the main event. I think we continue some of that chatter. We're not going to really. I don't really know if we want to offer official predictions yet. We will have a preview show later today. Mike? Let me ask you this: how much of a downgrade? And this is after seeing the press conference. Kind of, I think how well I think the build has been handled by both guys. How much of a drop off was this for you from the Max Holloway trilogy bout?
I mean, it's got to be a bit of a drop off, but it's almost not fair to Korean Zombie because whoever was in that fight, whoever got put in there, it was just going to be a detriment to it overall because everybody wanted to see that third fight. I could watch Volkanovski and Max Holloway fight 500 times in a row, and I wouldn't complain about it once. Some people might. I would not. I think their second fight, which I still, after many, many, many watches at this point, still feel Volkanovski won. It's one of the most underappreciated fights of all time. It was that good. It was that competitive. But when we talk about like best fights that have happened in the UFC, best title fights, this one is not mentioned enough. It's just such a good competitive fight. And you see the evolution from Max Holloway between fight 1 and fight 2, and then you see the evolution of Alexander Volkanovski from round 3 to round 5, like in the middle of the fight. It's just such a good fight. So I think people just want to see who the better fighter is because there are some folks that don't believe, even though Volkanovski has 2 wins, they don't believe they don't wholeheartedly believe that he's the better fighter. So there's some fascination, there's some intrigue here, but at the same time, what a story it would be if the Korean Zombie comes in here and wins the title. Like, I think they made the right choice. Without Holloway, this is the right fight to make because who knew if Korean Zombie would ever get back to the spot? His career is winding down. I love the matchup, and I love everything Korean Zombie's done this week. One of the things I was really focused on was he going to be tense? Was he going to be a little overwhelmed with what's on him at the press conferences and the media days and stuff? Like, how is he going to handle that? Was he going to be tight and intense, or is he going to be like loose and cool as a cucumber? And what we've seen from him is the latter. Very loose, having a good time. He's slamming sponsors, putting over his energy drink, laughing, giggling, having a good time. And that's a refreshing thing. That's what makes this fight a little more interesting to me is the mindset he is bringing into this fight week because he's talked openly about the spots being a little too big for him, the lights being a little too bright shown upon him.
Oh, nice. Man, that is cool.
Look at that. Look at this guy. How much fun is this man having? Oh, wait a minute. Here, you can have this.
Oh, come on.
Here we go. Look at this. Look at this guy. He's having the time of his life right now. He's on an energy drink can, getting ready for a title fight. Good stuff. I like what I'm seeing from both guys this week. I like the matchup. I favor Volkanovski. I think he's just a little bit better in a lot of aspects. But let me tell you this. You like when you're on a fight week and you talk to coaches and teammates and stuff, like they're never going to say like, oh, my fighter's going to go in there and lose. But Eddie Cha, the Zombie team, everybody around him, they're walking around like they are holding a secret. Like they have this like double tight security vault. And when they open the vault, chaos is just going to fly out and it's going to shock everybody. Like that's the mentality they have. They're just like, wait, they're like, Mike, I'm telling you, like, wait till Saturday. Wait till you see this. I'm not just saying this. Like, I'm telling you.
How many fights has Zombie had at Fight Ready? Full camps. Is this second or third?
3 or 4? Yeah, it's something like that. 3 or 4.
Okay, I think it's his third one.
Because Eddie hasn't been there. Eddie's been there for
with Eddie.
years.
With Eddie, rather, I guess. And
yeah.
Yeah, and he spent his entire camp in the States for this one, correct?
Yeah, he came in February. He came in like a couple weeks earlier because they figured they were going to fight like be May or June. But then obviously this opportunity came along, so he came in like late January, early February. But what do you think, Casey? Like, if you're gonna go with the team on 3 months' notice, like you don't even think you're fighting for the title, but if you're gonna go surround yourself with coaches, at least right now, with the momentum this team has, is Fight Ready like the best place you could ask for to prepare for a guy like Volkanovski as the sort of substitute fighter here? Because I feel like this is the best place for him to be in terms of trying to get a quick game plan put together and trying to implement it. I think what those guys are doing right now has been fantastic this year, and I feel like these might be the guys that just might be sly and chaotic enough from a game plan perspective to actually make things a lot more interesting than the betting lines suggest.
Oh, I think this fight's extremely close. I get the betting lines just because, Volkanovski's on a roll and, Zombie just hasn't had that featured spot for a little bit. But I think this is a heck of a competitive fight. Still going Volkanovski, but because Volkanovski's Volkanovski, no one's kind of proven otherwise yet. But Zombie's such a fucking good fighter. I don't know why I cursed right there. I was just so excited.
Oh, my freaking ears. Apologies to everyone. I apologize to all of our listeners on Casey's behalf.
But yeah, I love this fight, and Eddie Cha might be. I know you don't think so, but definitely amongst fans, like maybe the most underrated coach. I mean, how good he is, rather. Most underrated coach right there in the sport. He is just a new wizard, game planning wizard in this sport. So it's very exciting to see. I'm very excited for the main event. I know it doesn't have the trash talk that fans want, but I don't care about that crap. I just see two amazing featherweights that we get to see at the top of the pay-per-view. So that's a super exciting fight. Super exciting. Yeah. Of course, we wanted the Holloway fight, but I think this is the best replacement for it.
Yeah. If I was a 10 out of 10 excitement wise for Holloway Volkanovski 3, I'm a 9 out of 10, maybe a 9.5 for Zombie. Like, how can you can tell we've reached sort of the point of cynicism with MMA fans, and this isn't everyone. I think there's a lot of people who are excited with this fight. Sorry, so I'm speaking to a vocal minority of people who maybe complained and they're like, oh, of all the Mike, you said, there's almost no one that could step in for Holloway that was kind of going to make people happy. So Zombie's the guy that got the call. Then you have people saying, oh man, he's only coming off one win, and guys, it's the Korean fucking Zombie.
Yeah.
Okay, I apologize. I'm sorry. I apologize for language. I don't know what happened there. I apologize.
What is happening right now?
He is one of the most exciting fighters in history. How can you not want to see him fight the number one? And again, unless people are really predicting a 50-45 just drubbing, which I think Volkanovski will win convincingly, but I think there will be some scary moments because his championship fights, his two defenses so far have been super exciting. I mean, the Ortega fight was one of the most thrilling, at least that one round, title fights I've ever seen. And Mike, you said the second Holloway fight is such an underrated classic. People got so caught up in thinking that Holloway won, and that's fine. Like I said, it is a very close fight. I don't think it's a robbery, but people jump to that so quickly they forget how amazing and how dramatic that fight was. Clear first 2 rounds to Holloway, knockdowns in each round, and then Volkanovski just comes back. Very close third, and then clear. I think Volkanovski clearly wins the 4th and 5th, and it is just MMA at the highest level. So I would always recommend people please rewatch that fight. Not just for scoring purposes, just to appreciate how exciting
high level MMA. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just amazing. That's as good as it gets, right? And now you're getting, like I said, maybe people view Zombie as a tier below Volkanovski, Holloway, and Brian Ortega, and that's fine. Like I said, he lost to Ortega, so if you have a clear-cut top 3 and Zombie's just outside of that, I understand. He's clearly an elite fighter. He always delivers. The guy just doesn't have a boring fight, and he has the beauty of a puncher's chance. I mean, you can say that about a lot of challengers, and he's certainly one of them. I don't think him knocking out Volkanovski, yes, it would be shocking just how great Volkanovski is, but also considering Zombie's history, I think a lot of us are like, well, yeah, that was his only chance was to really catch him with something big, catch him with a flurry. I don't know, and we could see that. So,
dude,
totally,
Zombie's got a very good chance to win this by knockout. Now, can Volkanovski be knocked out? Have we actually seen him get knocked out? That's what we haven't seen yet. So it's gonna be. I'm super excited. I love this fight. I love it.
It's a great fight. Like I said, if Holloway Volkanovski or Volkanovski Holloway 3, I got to respect the champ and our number 1 featherweight in MMA fighting global rankings. Volkanovski Holloway 3 was a 10. This is I think again 9.5. Commenters, I don't know if you agree. Throw a number in the chat. Your level of excitement. Don't be a troll. Be honest. Let us know what you think. I think it's a great fight. We can talk about this.
Don't be a troll. Don't be a troll. Vote in the poll. Don't be a troll. Vote in the poll. You should make a poll about this, AK.
You need to. I was gonna make a troll toll joke. Never mind.
You know what I do appreciate about this pay-per-view is that the top 3 fights all have completely different stories. Each fight, the top 3 fights, they're all different stories. They all have their kind of different different levels of kind of trash talk, or just showmanship. But I really like this. It's awesome. This is an awesome pay-per-view. This is a really good pay-per-view. And man, imagine if this pay-per-view was the original. If we had Gastelum versus Imanov on it too. It's like, man, because it's just
DDP and Chris Curtis. I know that would be AK's people's main event.
Yeah, Aleksei Oleinik going for 60. 60 guys, finally.
I know supposed to be Aldana Ladd. That would have been great. See if
Casey, you have referred to Imavov as one of the, or maybe the best kept secret at 185 pounds.
He's without a doubt to me the best prospect at 185 right now. I was super bummed. And this fight was the fight, just to a lesser extent, just like Chimaev getting the big jump up in competition to face Gilbert Burns. That's what the Imavov fight was for him too, getting a big jump up and fighting someone like Kelvin Gastelum. So I know it's not the same exact, but pretty much.
and Gastelum wants to get in there and get a win, right? I mean, the guy just needs a win.
Of course. What's the same with Gilbert Burns? Gilbert Burns thinks he's the title contender. Gastelum thinks he wants he wants to rebuild himself and eventually fight for that title. He's the only person to really put the champ on skates. So it was a great fight. Just bummed it didn't happen, but here we are.
And we always say, get these guys now while they're coming up, right? Like we said, maybe Chimaev isn't, the best Chimaev we've ever seen yet. Maybe this is the time for Burns to fight up. Maybe this is the time for Imavov, for Kelvin Gastelum to fight a Nasruddin Imavov, right? Maybe Imavov is like 80% of what he'll be someday, and peak Calvin, or I don't know if he's out of his peak, 90% Calvin might be better than him. So you want to see a fight like that. Shout outs to Cameron Batko in the comments who got the "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia" reference. You got to pay the troll toll. I won't say the whole line because it's outside of context. It's a bit weird, but it is a funny episode. The Day Man. Here cometh the Day Man. Always say sunny.
So, moving on to the co-main event real quick.
Yes, let's do it. Let's move on to the co-main.
Is Sterling the biggest underdog champion in a long time, betting-wise? Not even betting-wise, just everything-wise. As a champ, I can't think of a champ coming in with this being this much of an underdog.
Maybe when Esparza fought Joanna.
What was Oliveira and
Joanna wasn't like
Dustin? At least 2-1, right? For Dustin, in favor of Dustin, right?
For which fight?
Yeah, this is a big one.
Dustin and Charles Oliveira.
269.
Yeah.
No, this has got to be way way more.
What is it now in DraftKings right now?
Oh, you know what? Sarah GSP 2.
Oh wow, it's a long time ago. So we got to.
So we're going over a decade. We're going over a decade.
Yeah, I know the fight.
We got moving, by the way.
Happen, but what about Nico and Valentino?
Nico Valentino was a good one.
It would have been.
Aspen Ladd.
There we go, Aspen Ladd. Listen, in the first hour, let's make a statement here. Her opponent already successfully weighed in. Aspen Ladd returning after a one-fight stint, short notice opportunity at 145. She'll be looking to make a 135 limit today.
136. 136, the official weight for Aspen Ladd.
136 for Aspen Ladd. Big smile, looks steady on the scale. That's huge. That is huge for this young lady who I think she's only, if I'm not mistaken, 27 years old.
Say it.
I was so shocked, but yes, Aspen Ladd and Raquel Pennington is official. Congratulations, Aspen Ladd, shutting us all up, shutting up the doubters, making that weight 136. Here's Kay Hansen, the youngest fighter on the card.
She isn't confident.
No, she doesn't.
Ooh, this is not good. Yes.
118. It looks like.
118.5. 118 and a half, the official weight for Kay Hansen.
118.5. That's 118.5. That'll be 2.5 pounds over the limit for Kay Hansen. She has bounced around. Her last fight was at flyweight. She has bounced around quite a bit between the two weight classes since turning pro a few years ago. So I don't know if she maybe needs to make that commitment to 125 or the opposite, kind of do what some fighters done, really crack down to making that 115 limit. But obviously she's a young woman. She's growing, like I said, just turned 22 in August. She's the youngest fighter on almost every card she's on, as long as Aaron Blanchfield isn't around.
So this fight is what?
This fight is sadly for now not official. I hate to hear that music.
I know.
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it.
I had to bring out the color wheel. I had to get the red. This was like, it's like I haven't had to use the red in a while. It hurt, but
I think
Kay Hansen is just she's 22. I think she's just outgrown the strawweight weight limit. That's really all it is. It's not that she's getting bigger.
It's not even that. It's not even that. I still think 115 is a possibility, but definitely whatever routine that she's been using up to that point, like that has to change. If she does want to continue to make or try to make 115. Again, when you're younger, there's so many things you can get away with, and she's still. It's crazy to say younger. She's still super young, but your body changes so much from age 20 to 30. Whatever was working for before, probably not making things easy now. There could be other issues, of course. I'm sure we'll have a chance to hear more from Kay in the future. She's very open with the media, but very tough break for this morning. 2.5 pounds miss. I assume, Mike, that she'll. What does the Florida Commission rule down there? Is there another hour potentially if it's cleared by a physician? What are we seeing there?
They haven't said. No one said anything yet.
Okay.
So.
She did not look like she wants to cut any more weight.
She's cut. Yeah, she's done.
The fact that she came in an hour early, to me, when you come in this early and still miss weight by a significant portion, you're done. So I very doubt.
Yeah, she's done.
She's
officially done.
Okay. You know the problem with Kay? I mean, I get really worried because I think Kay is just a great prospect, but. I mean, unless this is wrong, I mean, her height's only 5'2". To be a 5'2" flyweight is going to be a problem.
Yes.
You saw it in her last fight, which is why she felt like she had to go back down because Jasmine Jastovicius just kind of sunned her.
Yeah. I think she just fights way too often.
That is
she has had no growth in the gym, I feel. How many she's fought 4 times in the UFC already?
But the last fight, it was almost. Was it over a year between fights? It was a while because she was dealing with a lot of the stuff that she was dealing with, the health issues, and she's been open about the eating disorder and stuff.
Jasmine, it was almost 2 year and a half or something. Yeah,
it was a year and a half. Yeah, but that was her longest gap, wasn't it? Because before that, she was in 2018, she fought 6 or 5 times. Just plowing through these. And then I know she has a bunch of amateur boxing matches too.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. I get really worried about fighters like that because if she loses tomorrow night, misses weight, I mean, and then maybe even loses her next fight, whatever. She's a 500 fighter, and her career might be done at 22 years old, and that's just scary for a fighter.
Looks like we saw like Edmund trying to become the youngest champion. All of a sudden, he's lost 3 in a row, something like that, and now he's not even. How old is he? 25, 26?
Yeah.
He's just lost 3 in a row to the best of the best. It's rough.
Yeah, but that's and then the issue with Kay is she's losing, but not to the best of the best. Though at least with Edmund, they got the push. They pushed him. He went for it. Didn't happen. But with Kay, she's just losing to unranked fighters. So it's.
We got an update on the Hansen Pierre Rodriguez fight. I don't know if you guys saw this. Aaron Bronstetter tweeting it. Passing on a message from Dan Helly, who made the call on the UFC's official weigh-in show. Apparently, Kay Hansen versus Pierre Rodriguez is canceled.
Whoa!
We will look to confirm that on our own, guys. We still need to confirm on our own, but Dan Helly just said that on the UFC's official weigh-in show, and according to Dan Helly, it was Kay Hansen who said to call it off. So something really went wrong. I mean, I would imagine. I don't know where Rodriguez is right now, but maybe she hadn't even heard about it yet, and she probably wouldn't have made the call right away. So Hansen, that makes sense. If it was going to get canceled so quickly by one of the fighters, it would probably be Kay. Like we said, she did not look comfortable on the scale at all. So for health purposes, I'll say for Kay Hansen, good call if she's just not feeling right. But boy, that is a really unfortunate for Piera Rodriguez. Hopefully, I would like to see Rodriguez get her show and win money. We'll see if that gets worked out. Because again, this is a debuting fighter, so she's only making, I think, as far as probably what, $12K to show.
Man,
and then
really
to not get to fight.
Yeah, I hope Rodriguez gets that show and win. That would be. Jeez, man, pay her in crypto or something, man. She needs some money.
Give her that crypto.com Bitcoin bonus.
Yeah, that Bitcoin. Yeah, there should be some kind of award for that. Yeah. Jeez,
it's only $175 million deal, Casey. They can't be throwing money to fighters. Like, come on, man. Be reasonable. But yes, obviously for Piera, hopefully she gets paid and rebooked quickly. I would like to see her get show and win, and of course the UFC get right back on booking her. We got a lot of cards coming up. She's in the strawweight division, so plenty of competition there for her. And for Kay Hansen, I know a lot of people are going to want to make jokes and all that, but we'll just say again, we don't know the story, health-wise, injury-wise. You should always be professional. Of course, you show up, you got to make that weight, but hopefully everything's okay with her. And for a fighter to immediately cancel their fight, again, we just really don't see that too often. And we wish her the best and that gets sorted out. But there we go. We're down one fight from the prelims. There's that. You had to break out the red again, Casey. That is. I just don't want to look at it. That is great. We got a miss. We've got a fight canceled. Oh.
It was like a scene in Seinfeld where Kramer has that big neon sign outside the window. It's all like
Kenny's chicken. Kenny's chicken.
Yeah.
That is really unfortunate. So again, for Piera Rodriguez, hopefully gets a booking again soon and gets compensation, gets her proper compensation.
Hey, Mike, can you tell Jose to go wake up these heavyweights or something? What's going on?
What?
Are they all sleeping in? These 4 heavyweights?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's like, they're all just they're the breakfast buffet right now. Just I got another hour.
Yes. So we are only waiting on 4 heavyweights plus Anthony Hernandez, Julio Arce. So could be a bit of a wait, guys. As you say with the heavyweights, they're usually not in a hurry. Sometimes they show up in the first hour. Sometimes they show up in the first 30 minutes. Sometimes they show up in the last 15 minutes. These are 4 guys again. I don't think any of them is in danger of coming in over. I'm trying to think if any of the guys have weighed near the. I mean, if they weigh near the limit, it's only it's not. They're not in danger of missing. But yes, Anthony Hernandez, middleweight, Julio Arce, bantamweight for a highly anticipated preliminary card opener against the debuting Daniel Willie Cat Santos. All right, guys. Well, we were talking about the co-main and storylines heading into it. You could not manufacture a more. I don't want to say compelling because there's something more a more unique. Oh, terrible grammar. But for the sake of fight, I will say
start over. Okay.
my English professor is screaming right now.
Anthony Fluffy Hernandez.
You cannot qualify. There's no very unique or more unique. But again, this is the fight business. Anthony Hernandez coming up now. Here comes Fluffy.
Zoom out. There we go.
186. 186 the official weight for Anthony Hernandez.
186 for Anthony Hernandez. His fight with Josh, I am not your friend, is now official. Shout out to Azan Zaman in the YouTube comments. So we do have an update and an apology from Aaron. First off, let me apologize for Aaron Prospetter, who is apologizing.
Aleksei Oleinik.
Hold on, we got Aleksei Oleinik first. The fight is not canceled.
Jeez.
Hold on, we have 3 layers of apologies. I will get to a second. 3 degrees of apologies. I know. Fake news. I'm fake news. I'm fake news.
Got him.
AK Lee is fake news. The mistake was not by me. The mistake was relaying the wrong message, which was also the wrong message. I'll explain in a second. Here's Aleksei Oleinik going for win number 60.
244, the official weight for Aleksei Oleinik.
244 for Aleksei Oleinik, the oldest fighter on the card. Oldest fighter on the roster, I believe. Oldest active fighter on the roster.
How old is he?
44 years young, I want to say.
So twice the age as Kay Hansen.
He is twice the age of Hansen, correct.
You know what's funny?
Sorry. Let me get the Kay Hansen update first. Sorry, I want to apologize. So Aaron, TSN's Aaron Bronstetter, he is apologizing for his tweet because he says Dan Hellie made a mistake on the broadcast. So Dan Hellie made a mistake first. The fight is scheduled. He meant to say apparently Hansen will not make a second attempt to make weight. We knew that, and they will have to agree on a purse penalty. So standard miss procedure.
Okay.
Apparently the fight is not canceled again. Thank you, Aman Zaman, for shouting at me in the comments and getting that correction. So Dan Hellie, I assume, apologized. Aaron Bronstetter is apologizing, and now I apologize for passing along the fake news. That's on me, guys. That is 100% on me. I do apologize.
I don't accept any of these apologies, by the way. I don't accept.
I did say it wasn't confirmed. For the record. Yeah. I did say it wasn't confirmed. We did not. We have two guys on site, two of the best in the business, Jose Youngs and Mike Heck. And if they didn't confirm it, then I wasn't going to say it was official. So, listen, we fixed the graphic. It's all good. So, yes, long story short, too long, didn't read. As far as we know, Hansen and Petr Rodriguez still needs to be negotiated. Who knows? And who knows? Maybe they won't come to an agreement, and it will still be canceled. But as of now, it's not officially canceled, and is being negotiated.
Yeah.
I imagine 2.5 pounds. That's got to be at least 30% if this fight goes through.
Whatever. Yeah.
That is tough.
It's
So
still like 30%. Yeah, whatever. But,
yes.
Yeah, it was
And
just
again-
very weird, like for someone to weigh in and then 10 minutes later go, "No, I'm done."
I don't even think it was 10 minutes.
Yeah, not even
It was
10
like 2
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah. I mean,
And-
It was like she had just gone through the curtain, and it seemed like we got that news.
I'm
It's
out.
wild. It was wild.
I'm not doing
And
that.
as Jose always says, even if they do negotiate a deal, it's not official until they're both in the cage. We have seen on multiple occasions fighters miss weight or having problem with weight cutting
And not rehydrate properly
the
or
next
whatever.
day.
Yeah, next day.
Yeah, it's just it sucks. The whole process sucks. So until they step in there, we won't know for sure. But we'll keep you updated, guys. I will vet my news a little better. That again. That is on me. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone. I'm the one who relayed the news.
I'm
But
not
there we
trusting
go.
Canadian reporters. That's all I hear.
Listen.
Hey,
Aaron Bronstetter,
I'm just
you're a
doing the
top
math.
guy. Don't
Canadian,
lump me in.
Canadian. Yeah.
Don't lump me in with him. He is a consummate professional. I passed on the fake news. Anonymous dude 123 says we never apologize.
Hey, we need the breaking news music, Casey.
Oh,
Wait, breaking
go
news. Wait,
Breaking news music.
Oh, wait. Get that graphic off. Breaking news music and flying in now.
The fight between Pierre Rodriguez and Kay Hansen is officially on. It is on the table. 20% of Kay Hansen's purse will go to Petr Rodriguez. Per the UFC, that is not fake news. That is the realest of real, coming from the UFC, man, and workers themselves. So the fight is still on. 20% of Hansen's purse will go to Rodriguez, but it's happening. Done deal.
all right. I'm going to tweet this and make this.
So
real
what does that
news.
mean, AK?
Well, with the 20% penalty, the fight between Petr Rodriguez and Kay Hansen is now official. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to retweet Jose.
There you go.
This is much easier.
The world is back in balance.
I retweeted the esteemed Jose Youngs. That is real news now. That's real news. I'm not taking it back.
Did you block Bronstetter? Block, mute.
I would never do that. Shout outs to Aaron. 2.5 pounds. I'm a little surprised that Petr Rodriguez's team didn't take a little more. Obviously, I think they're very eager just to get a fight. They want to debut. They probably see it as a winnable fight. I haven't seen much of Rodriguez, Mike. I assume that you might have watched her, might know a little bit more about her on the Contender Series. But I just judging by her accomplishments, seems like a very legitimate prospect.
She is very solid. She's an exciting fighter. If you just go to like her Tapology page, you can just see that she goes out there and she gets after it, man. She gets after it. She has really vicious ground and pound, like really vicious, to the point where, I mean, she's had a 5th round ground and pound finish in her career. She's very dangerous start to finish. But if she gets on top of you and starts throwing bombs on your face, I mean, the fight usually doesn't last much longer than that. But it should be a fun fight because Kay Hansen brings it too. And I'm sure like after everything that happened here, Kay's going to come in with a little bit of a chip on her shoulder. So that's going to make things even more interesting. And Pierre is one of those fighters that gets after it too. So low-key banger for sure. I mean, it's unfortunate about the weight miss, but this is definitely a low-key banger. And there's a lot of these on the card. There's a few low-key bangers, and this is one of them.
Like I said, we're opening up. Well, we almost lost one of the debuting fights, but we are opening up with, I think, 3 fights with debuting fighters that are intriguing. Like we said, the Willie Cat, Julio Arce is gonna be awesome. You just mentioned Rodriguez, and Kay Hansen, and Fluffy and Josh Fremd. Again, this sort of the remaining middleweight bout that still a good fight, but the remaining middleweight bout when we had 6 like potential names kind of supposed to be on this card. I thought we were going to see some nice movement in the middle of the lower top of the middleweight division, but now we get to see Fluffy return. First time since that absurd fight with Rodolfo Vieira. It's a shame he didn't get to capitalize on that. He had like 3 bookings, I think, fall out after some of that. He had an injury too, like a hand injury. So it'll be good to see. I know a lot of people after that Vieira win wanted to see Fluffy back in action right away. But here we go, 2022. He'll get his first fight of the year.
Bringing in some replays here. Here we go.
Yeah. All right, people. For anyone who may have tuned in a little late, here's some of the top fighters weighing in.
And 70 pounds, the official weight for Khamzat Chimaev. 170, the official weight for Gilbert Burns. $134.5, the official weight for the champion Aljamain Sterling. 134, the official weight for Petr Yan. Your co-main event for the bantamweight title is now official. Let's go!
Back, baby! And now our main event.
Official weight 144.5 for the champion, Alexander Volkanovski. 144.5 for the Korean Zombie, Chan Sung Jung. Your UFC featherweight championship main event is official.
Mr. Lee, we're back.
Sorry, I was typing words. I'm known to do on the side.
What else do you type?
Well, inside baseball, guys, sometimes I'm typing words on the side, not always paying attention to the comments, so I apologize if you guys are cussing me out. I'm not always looking at them. Yeah, I'm just again, I'm updating the weigh-ins post with the Kay Hansen stuff. So just a little touch of chaos this morning. Again, we thought it had potential. You know, again, we had some fighters with the history of difficulty making weight, but Aspen Ladd, again, and successfully making weight and hopefully fighting, great. Actually getting into the cage at the bantamweight limit for the first time since I believe December 2019. So she's at least made it past that first step.
What was that fight? Was that wasn't was that the GDR fight? That wasn't the GDR, right?
Oh, that she last time she fought at
35.
I think it was. I think it was.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know. So. I'm sorry. No, Yana Kunitskaya.
Oh, Yana. Oh, that's right. I was trying to remember. She had a late finish in that fight, and that was the DC card. Yep.
Yes. Mackenzie Dern, of course, had history, but recent history has been spotless for Mackenzie Dern. So it does, fingers crossed, does look like that is a thing of the past. Again, like I said, MMAfighting.com. Gary McCrew spoke to one of her coaches about sort of her changes in diet and nutrition and just how things are different for her now. And I think people can see the difference when she steps to scale. And again, I mentioned earlier, her and Mackenzie Dern, just the gun show at the press conference, just two top shelf athletes. So great to see that. And then, of course, we have the Kay Hansen drama, unfortunately. Someone who's bounced between 115, 125, is very young, a developing fighter, maturing fighter, and was not able to make that weight today. The 115 limit coming in at 2.5 pounds over, including the 1 pound allowance. So that fight, 20% penalty for Hansen, and hopefully they will end up stepping to the cage on Saturday. But otherwise, a couple of heavyweights. Vanderaa, 3 heavyweights. Julio Arce not here yet, but could just be taking his time. We don't know, guys. We don't know if there's any job.
He's a newer bantamweight. Don't forget about that.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a newer bantamweight.
Let's talk about the co-main event. We kind of have been trying to tease it here and there. Maybe this will summon another person to step to the scale. The storyline here is just so obvious. You have this rematch that, and I think we would have liked to have seen it done sooner. But listen, Aljamain Sterling had to get that surgery, so it's fine. If anything, it's built up the anticipation. We got a great Petr Yan, Corey Sandhagen fight. I love that fight so much.
We were talking about how Volkanovski Holloway 2 is just an underrated classic. To me, Jan Sandhagen is my kind of underrated classic. Amazing. It was such a great fight. And remember, Sandhagen took that on short notice, too. I think, that's all.
It would not surprise me if we see Corey Sandhagen fighting again for the bantamweight title someday. He's just
it was surprising if we don't
talented.
see him again for the title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, he just ran into again the guy who right now is number 1 in our MMA fighting global rankings. There was a time where he was tied with Aljo. We had them both sharing the one spot. For our 8-person panel, 4 people had Aljo, 4 people had Petr Yan. But after that win over Sandhagen and with Sterling, missing some time for he had a reason for it, but he did miss some time. Yan has been elevated to that top spot. Still not unanimous. We do have some Aljamain Sterling voters on our panel. You guys can check sort of the results there, MMAfighting.com. But now we get to settle it. I mean, you couldn't have the most controversial ending to a UFC title fight ever. The first time we ever saw a title change hands by disqualification. I said I'm a 9.5 out of 10 for the main event. Mike, out of 10, how are you for Sterling Yan 2?
So I would say on Monday, I was like a 7.8. Like I was interested, but I had an idea in my mind on how I thought the fight would go. Today, I'm like a 9.7. I'm super into the fight. Like I really am. I think, and maybe it's just because both guys have done a tremendous job in selling it and trying to sell us on, especially Aljamain. I actually think Aljamain's been, phenomenal this week. Really good. I thought his media day was excellent. I thought he was just hilarious at the press conference. Like everything he did was very pro wrestling like with the Jags helmet, where like the crowd was booing him, but at the same time they realized like, oh, he's got a Jacksonville Jaguars helmet. Like we can't completely boo him, so he actually got like a couple people on his side at the same time. It's such an interesting matchup. I think Al's just going to look really good in this fight. I do. I think there's a chance he might even win the first 2 rounds, but that only just makes Yan better. Because as the fight goes on, the wiser he gets, the more tendencies he picks up. He's just like a human computer in there and just will figure it out. And I think the last 3 rounds are just going to be chaos, but Yan rounds. So, it could be like a 49-46 Yan in my opinion, but I think it's going to be one of those fights where it's going to be super exciting. It's going to be pretty chaotic. And then at the end of it, there will be a clear winner. And I think that clear winner will be Petr Yan, but it's going to be a fight that Aljamain Sterling, at least his stock will rise a little bit because of it, because he's going to put on an exciting performance. He's going to get in there and get after it. I think it's going to be one of those fights. I think this fight will actually over-deliver on Saturday. I think Yan will win and become the unified champion, the undisputed king at 135. But I think Al's just going to have a really good performance. I think it's a really interesting fight, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, and I hope. Listen, I'm also picking Aljo, and I've said this up on the podcast. Like, I hope people.
You say you're also picking Aljo?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm also picking Petr Yan. Excuse me. Thank you, Casey. But I want to say something positive about Aljo, so that's probably why I said that. I hope people realize like how deserving of a champion this guy was. Again, yeah, he won by DQ. That's fine. But there's so much like revisionist history about like the quality of his wins before fighting Petr Yan. Like I would argue his resume is as strong as Petr Yan's, if not more so. Maybe not now after the Sandhagen win. I think that boosted Petr Yan's a lot. But and the Aldo win has also aged very well for Petr Yan. Now we know that Jose Aldo is a very legitimate contender at 135 pounds. But Aljo, before the Jan fight, listen, he ran through Corey Sandhagen. There's no other way to say it. Would that happen again? I don't know. If you run that fight back, probably not a first round submission again. But he did. You have to give him credit for that. Pedro Munoz was a very big win at the time. Gio Rivera was a very big win at the time. He has a lot of high quality wins. And I get it. People can always look back and say, well, this guy is now, he's done this in Step Fighter, hasn't done this, or he's not in the UFC anymore. And I hate when people do that. I think it's so tough when people just remove the context from some of these performances. So regardless of what happens to Sterling, I think he was, we'll have to call him former UFC champion. If he loses, we will call him former UFC champion for eternity. And there's no asterisk there, right? This guy is a championship level fighter.
Agreed.
And who knows, Mike, like you said, maybe he proves us wrong, man. Maybe he proves the bettors wrong. One judge did have him up in the first fight before the qualification. I don't agree with that card, but listen, again, it's not about us. It's about the judging. And if it goes in a similar way, I think we all agree Sterling's strategy will be a bit different this time. But he was apparently good enough in the first fight to be up officially on one judge's scorecard, whether we agree with it or not. So it'll be competitive. I am going Jan. I'll get my quick pick here. We'll go in depth again on the preview later. I'm going Jan. Casey?
Oh, Jan, big time. I think there's a giant asterisk on this. Yeah, technically he was the champion, but there's a giant asterisk on it.
The asterisk gone. Okay.
Yeah, it's a giant. But back to your point though. But Sterling to me is the number 2 guy, and it's not like he's undeserving of this spot or undeserving for that first championship fight against Jan. There's nothing undeserving of Sterling in getting here. I just think Jan's the better fighter. That's simply besides the the illegal knee and all that stuff, all that wearing football helmet, all the pro wrestling theatrics to get to this point. Whatever. But yeah, I just think Jan is definitively the best bantamweight in the world right now. That's all.
Aljamain. Were you not enjoying Aljamain Carrot top Sterling? Was that not you?
Well, but do it the whole time. Like people always do this. They bring out the props and they do it real quick at the very edge of the stage, but they don't when they do the face off. He shouldn't show security. No security, I'm good. And put the helmet on and then
that'd be great.
Want the Henry Cejudo.
Do it all the way. All these fighters, they bring out these props, but then they kind of get scared. You can tell they go, I got a prop, and then they put it down. Right at the very edge of the stage. When you answer every question, go, hold on, wait, what? Jan's talking, hold on, and puts the helmet on. Go all out. That's all. But I enjoyed the theatrics, but also don't if you don't do it all the way.
You wanted Henry Cejudo the snake. You wanted the snake. He brought the snake all the way to the face-off. He's smashing this dumb-looking big snake on the ground. You want that level of commitment?
Yes. You go all in. This isn't a sport. Go all in. Sorry, Mr. Heck, you were saying.
Casey,
Mike?
No, I'm curious. I mean, listen, you got votes for the MMA Fighting Gold. So I figure you'd be the best person to ask about this. So Jed and I were talking on BTL yesterday about this fight and how rapidly more interested that I've gotten throughout this fight week in this fight. My whole thing is the best path to victory for Aljamain Sterling, just by looking at the tape and looking at the last fight, is that Sterling has to kind of tap into his inner Colby, Bryce Mitchell sort of thing, where he's just on Jan against the fence, taking him down over and over and over and over again, and just getting on top. And even if Jan gets up, maybe even a couple times, just let him up just to take him down again, and just kind of the energy levels go. Jed feels like Aljamain's path to victory is just to go balls to the wall for 5 minutes. Just get right after it. Everything but the kitchen sink. Rocky Balboa against Clubber Lang 2-esque, where they basically built up the fight camp. We built you to be able to just go bananas for 7 minutes. So you have to get them done in the first 7 minutes. That's how Jed kind of looks at it. I think it's more of you gotta, if he could be like Bryce Mitchell or be like a Colby for 25 minutes and just be like Velcro against that fence, that's his best path to victory. And anything in between is probably not a good night for Aljo. What do you think? What are your thoughts? If you were on Aljo's team, how would you think he's going to approach this? Think he's just going to get right after it and try to get him out quick? Because Jan is so good at building momentum as the fight goes, or do you think this is something that Al's just going to go out there and just grind on him for 25 minutes and just try to tire him out?
I think more a little of both actually, but more of what you said. Honestly, I think the chance of submitting Jan at the very within the first 90 seconds is high, just because Aljamain is such a good grappler, and when guys are dry, it's much easier to grapple. But once they're all covered in sweat, it's like after like the second round, I just don't see Sterling getting a submission. But that's when he needs to kind of transition to that very Bryce Mitchell, Colby style of fighting, which is highly effective. And I think Aljamain will have the cardio to kind of do that for 25 minutes. This type of thing that we just go balls to the wall, you just can't do that for 25 minutes. It is just impossible. It just won't happen. Maybe for 3 rounds you can go balls to the wall, but not for 25 minutes, and not balls to the wall against a guy like Jan. I just think that he'll get knocked out bad. You go hard the first 90 seconds, try to grab him, get his back, submit him, probably most likely some sort of choke. After that, if I was just going to win, it's going to have to be very disciplined, ugly, grindy against the cage style. So I'm more leaning to your path to victory, Mr. Heck.
It's a good fight.
It's a great. It's a great fight. It's a great fight because I hate that all the theatrics and the trash talk kind of just we forget that Aljo is really freaking good, and I think if he fights Jan 10 times, he wins 1 out of 5, 2 out of 10, something like that. But Jan's not that far apart from the competition where it's just not a chance. But I just think Jan is just better, especially 25-minute fights. It's just gonna be a tough night for Aljo. But he can do it. He definitely can do it. I think Jan has a bit of an off night, and it's got to be the best Aljamain Sterling that we've ever seen to win. But I love the fight. I love it. This is the fight. This was the fight to make, and it took a little time to get here. So I think we got we got a little tired of that story. Like, how many times can you do the whole "you cheated"? Well, you're an actor, and then we just did that for like a year. Essentially different versions of that. But we're here. They're gonna fight tomorrow. No more trash talk. So yeah.
It took so long for this fight to happen. I think people were making Academy Award jokes last year, and then now we actually went through another Academy Award cycle before the fight finally happened. That's how long it's been.
Yeah, you're right.
Between the 2 fights. We're over last March, so it's been a long time. I do want to. I don't think we're done talking about that fight yet, but I do want to read a statement. Kay Hansen has tweeted a statement. I will read this out now. I didn't vet this, so hopefully she's not just like F the MMA media and all who did. No. Kay Hansen wrote, I have had over 14 professional fights, 98% being at 115 pounds. Is that right? And I've always made weight fairly easily. I don't walk heavy. I diet year round. I live a very disciplined lifestyle. I have no excuses, but I'm not sure what went wrong. I'm extremely disappointed. I want to apologize to my team, opponents, the UFC. With that being said, I'm still grateful, excited to go out and perform UFC 273. Going to put this behind me and address it later. Focus on my performance tomorrow night. Love y'all. So there you go, guys. Kay always quick to take social media. So there's a statement has been made, and again, fingers crossed. We still have that fight going down tomorrow. Okay, let's again. Sorry, I wanted to give my take. Yes, very quickly on the co-main event. Yeah, I love this fight. For me, it's another. If it's as Mike said, if it's not a 10 out of 10, it's like a 9.7, 9.8. I was probably a little more jazzed up for it even before fight week. I know, Mike, you said you kind of the build has kind of got you up to it, and sort of just thinking about the possibilities for both guys. I don't know if Sterling gets like quite blown out as the odds are.
Well, he wasn't blown out in the first fight. Even
he
take
wasn't.
away the knee. It was a competitive fight that Jan was winning. It was competitive.
Was winning.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if I agree with Jeds that he needs to go. Aljo kind of just go berserk. That might be because I think
25 minutes. No one can do that. It's just
no. And I think if people watch the first fight, Aljo, of course, in amazing shape, but at the pace he was going at, I do feel like because he fought a pretty quick pace in the first fight. I do think he was tiring a bit. Yeah, and I do think he was tiring a bit, and it was one of the reasons why the fight ended in the fourth. I think like not only because of the illegal knee, I think he was also gassed. Just like I just can't get up. So I'll always say I think he did the right thing by bowing out there. And NA he's a UFC champion. How can you question it? But I don't know if the berserk thing works. Again, you can be in the best shape in the world And if you fight a certain way, I mean, no matter what, you're going to get gassed, especially with Petr Yan punching you in the head. That's gonna drain the gas tank a bit too. So yeah, I'm with you guys a bit. I kind of like the idea. A bit grindy. Definitely gonna, if you can get that wrestling going, boy, that's really gonna change. That's really gonna change the whole complexion of the fight. So I'm excited.
I think we have movements. Yep, we do.
Heavy. No, Julio Arce. Come on.
It's Vanderaa.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm guessing.
Oh, okay. Oh, you got my hopes. You got my hopes up, heck.
Wow, he sensed it. He sensed it.
One of the more underrated personalities, I think, in the sport, Vanderaa.
Completely agree.
I missed the beard.
Whoa. Wow, I was 266 for Jared Vanderaa. His fight with Aleksei Oleinik is now official. I was saying earlier, I didn't think anyone was going to have to worry about making the limit. Jared Vanderaa using the 1 pound allowance at heavyweight.
Look at that. Didn't even come in championship weight. That's not a statement. That's the opposite of a statement.
Well, I'll tell you, it's the statement is he's going to have 22 pounds, or more, more on fight night. But 22 pounds right now as of the weight they stepped on the scales, because Oleinik came in at 244. So that's a big boy. But Jared Vanderaa, again, like I said, that fight's official. Vanderaa, I think this is a tough matchup, of course. He's had some very tough fights. Sergey Spivak, his first UFC fight. Romanov, his third UFC fight. Arlovsky, I know people are like, oh, it's Arlovsky. Arlovsky's one of the toughest outs in the heavyweight division right now. So not an easy road to hoe. I feel like if he loses, it'll be a 1-4 record in the UFC. Probably won't, but Jared, really, if he had been fighting sort of in the middle, like sort of more closer to his I think where I feel his competition level is, he's one of those guys who could end up having like 12 UFC appearances someday. And we look back on it, we're like, Jared Vandeera's fought in the UFC like 12 times. Because like you said, Casey, he seems to have like a pretty, good personality, someone that would be easy for the matchmakers and to get along with and to book. And so I don't know. We'll see what they decide if things don't go his way. This is short notice.
I could see him fighting 15 times in the UFC and never being on a single main card. One of those guys, just like, he's just, hey man, make a living. Good for you.
Vanderaa stepping at 9 days notice for Ilir Latifi. So to kind of continue our short notice discussion, this should, win or lose, garner him another UFC fight, but who knows? Right? It'll be 3 straight.
Wait, Latifi, that was on the card. Wait,
it was on the card before, and then they rebooked it, and then they realized whatever it was that had forced Latifi out from the first encounter, he had not recovered from yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I knew Latifi, that was the original fight, but I didn't realize Latifi was actually scheduled on this card too. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. They had moved it. So we got Vanderaa 9 days notice. 9 days notice. So UFC, take care of this guy. Okay, so we only have 3 names left. 3 names left. 2 heavies and one Mr. Julio Arce. Mike, I don't know if you're up for it. Can you give us a little rain dance rundown here? Try and draw out these last 3 names.
I mean, absolutely. AK.
Thank you.
Of course. There it is. Of course, as you can see in the background, UFC 273 goes down tomorrow night. VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, the main event for the UFC Featherweight Championship of the Universe. Alexander Volkanovski will defend against the Korean Zombie. Both fighters weighed in this morning at 144.5 pounds. Aljamain Sterling versus Petr Yan, unification bout to unify the bantamweight title. Sterling weighted at 134.5. The interim champion, Petr Yan, weighted at 134. The fight everybody's talking about, Gilbert Burns versus Khamzat Chimaev. That is official. Both fighters weighted at 170 pounds. Big one in the strawweight division, Mackenzie Dern versus Tecia Torres. Both fighters successful, 115.5 for both athletes. Vinc Pichel, Marco Madsen is official. Vinc Pichel weighted at 155.5. Madsen, the Olympian, 155. Garry versus Darian Weeks, the featured ESPN prelim. Both fighters weighed in at 170.5. That is good to go. Still awaiting the arrival of Jairzinho Rozenstruik and Marcin Tybura. Aspen Ladd made it 136. She looked healthy doing so. She will face Raquel Pennington. Short notice replacement for Irene Aldana. Pennington weighs in at 134.5. She looks to make it 4 wins in a row. Gall versus Mike Malott. Both fighters weighed in at 170.5. Aleksei Oleinik, 244. Looking for win number 6-0. Takes on Vanderaa. Took the fight on 9 days' notice. Weighed in at 266 pounds. Anthony Hernandez, 186. Takes on the debuting Josh Fremd, who weighed in at 185.5. Pietro Rodriguez, 115 for her UFC debut. She will take on Hansen. Unfortunately, Hansen missed weight by 2.5 pounds. Fight will go on. Hansen forfeits 20% of her purse to Pietro Rodriguez. And Daniel Santos, set to make his UFC debut, weighing at 135. He will take on Julio Arce, who is yet to step on the scale. Back to you, AK.
Thank you, my best friend. Mike Heck, my best friend and the best in the business. Thank you so much. Well, guys, we have to talk about it. I'm going to end this poll now. What fight are you most looking forward to at UFC 273? Burns versus Chimaev, 68%. Sterling versus Yan 2 coming in second at 17%, and Volkanovski Zombie at 13%. The rest of the field, a measly 2%. So that is how highly anticipated this fight is. We questioned earlier, man, what is the mystique around Chimaev? But let's talk really more about this matchup. Let's talk about the Gilbert Burns side of it. We're just let's this is sort of like an ought no question, Mike, and something we won't really be able to answer until after, because it would certainly also depend how the fight goes. But where does Gilbert Burns go with a win over Khamzat?
I mean, it depends. It depends how we look at things. How we look at things and how it probably should go. If Gilbert wins, you do the Colby fight. I just think that would make sense from a meritocratic standpoint, because like the guy already fought for the belts. He beats Wonder Boy, then he stops the hype train of Chimaev. It puts him in a great position. Either he gets the Colby fight, or somehow if they book Usman Leon and something happens to Leon, you could slot Gilbert right back in there. Like, he would earn it coming off a win over Chimaev. Like, people wouldn't groan about that, even though the fight was somewhat recent. So that's probably what happens. Otherwise, if Bilal Muhammad beats Vicente Luque next week, then maybe you do that fight. You do Gilbert Burns versus Bilal Muhammad to give Bilal that sort of opportunity to get to that fight. If Luque wins, we're not going to see that fight because those two dudes are too close. So I would say either Bilal, Colby, or he gets he has the chance to maybe backdoor into a title fight, but it would have to take the dominoes falling exactly the right way. But Gilbert's ready. Dude's ready to go. He was pretty intense at that press conference, which is kind of surprising. That's very unlike Gilbert Burns to get all fired up and start firing bullets back at Mr. Chimaev. But he was all up. He was all in for it. You can see the intensity in his eyes. Gilbert's ready to go, man. Jairzinho's ready, and we'll see what happens. This is the big one. This is the one everyone's got their eye on.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's facing a lot of scrutiny. He's really under the microscope. One could argue he's getting talked about more during this fight than he did when he fought for the friggin' title. I mean, he fought Usman not that long ago, and it feels like people are talking about more about this matchup than they did the Burns-Usman fight. And that was a big fight. I mean, I think Burns-Usman was a huge fight, I thought. But I don't know if it's matched the hype.
Nobody cares about championship fights. It's all about like honestly, we're seeing it right here. Championship fights mean nothing as far as like interest. It's all about just the what if, like is he that good? Is he that bad? It's like, and that's the Chimaev magic touch right now. We just don't know how good he is, or is he just overrated? Is he just a hype train? And that's what fans love. That's what we want. We don't want seeing the best versus the best. That's cool, but seeing is this guy the best? That's what we want to be here for. That's the fun part about being a fan, and that's what I think that's what we're here for right now for Chimaev, to find out how good he is.
Now, Casey, I know you've said sort of. I think you're a traditionalist in this sense. I think you're very hyped up for the two title fights. I think you were asking earlier. Why is this Khamzat fight being so ahead in our poll that we just ran, for example? Again, almost 70% said it's the most anticipated fight of Saturday. But you are.
It's so funny. It's super anticipated, but also, it's gonna be a blowout. How quick is he gonna win? Like we're super highly anticipating a fight that we think isn't even competitive. That's what I find like kind of crazy and really awesome and unique in all the years I've been working in the sport. I can't think of such a bigger mismatch on paper that we're so hyped about seeing. Can you think of a fight that was super excited about, but clearly that guy's gonna win.
Well, I think mismatches can be fun. I think Ronda Rousey, there was a lot of perceived mismatches in her career, though I think her competition, I've always said, is a bit underrated. But I do think that she was such a heavy favorite, and people tuned in to see her, hoping for history to be made, to see a blowout, to see, is she going to get a 20-second armbar? Is she gonna?
But people were complaining though. People were going to say, "Oh, I don't want to say another." Oh, right, yeah. But no one's complaining about this though. They're not. But they're
no.
But you know what I mean?
This is almost being viewed as like a coronation. I know. Again, there's one member of the MMA fighting panel, who I won't name, who is Khamzat Chimaev, already ranked number 2. So it's that kind of mindset that is like, well, I want it. This is for that voter. It's not me. It's not Mike. It's not Casey. It's not Stephen Morocco. It's not Damon Martin. It's not Guillermo Cruz. You guys do the math. I'm not saying who it is. I'm not naming names. I'm naming names of who it isn't. You guys can figure it out on your own. Very, very, very popular on-camera member. You see him very often every week. Again, I'm not saying who it is. Has Khamzat Chimaev number 2 at 170, and I'm sure him, and again that the whole Khamzat hive, which is considerable, is looking at this as proof. This will be proof positive that their sky high expectations for the Swedish Chechen fighter are real.
Heavyweight in the UFC is big boy Jairzinho Rozenstruik.
Jairzinho. Number 9 heavyweight in MMA Fighting's global rankings.
$252.5. 252.5, the official weight for Jairzinho Rozenstruik.
252.5, 252.5 for Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Did we talk about this guy's beard enough? I'm sorry to go on a digression here, guys. What if he's got a great beard?
It's tremendous.
It's really nice. Like, it's just really clean looking. It's got volume. He's a big guy. Like, it kind of just it really fits his look. Jairzinho is Jairzinho's cool. So I like Jairzinho. 252.5. We are waiting for his opponent, Marcin Tybura. I was very sad in Marcin's last fight to see him lose to Alexander Volkov, kind of ending Tybura mania. The Tybura mania that was sweeping the nation. He was on a win streak that had everyone just kicking the doors down, wanting to see him get Ngannou. Unfortunately, I do think that talk has died down, if it ever existed. And then Julio Arce also, we are waiting. His opponent weighed in way earlier. I believe Daniel Santos was somewhere in the first 10 minutes. He was like the third person to weigh in, or just third or fourth person to weigh in. So fingers crossed for Julio Arce that we're not having any major issues here. Let's keep talking about Burns Chimaev a little more. It's what the people want. You guys mentioned, man, remember at post Fight Island, we made sure to mention Khamzat in every show. You just see an immediate spike. People would call their friends. They tweet about it on social media. They put on the Instagram story. Oh my God, they're talking about Khamzat on the show. Tune into the show, and we see like our viewership double. Is crazy. He's no longer just this buzzy fighter. Now he is again one fight away from possibly stealing Leon Edwards' title fight. Or Mike, I think as you explained on Heck of a Morning earlier today, very likely an interim title fight you think would be made. If Khamzat clears Gilbert, we do see him and Leon Edwards, right? Because Usman's going to be out for a bit.
We don't know. The fact that this fight has not been officially announced, tells me that maybe it's going to take a little longer. Mm-hmm. So if it's going to take a little longer, like if Usman can't fight till like September, just wait on it. Just do Khamzat. If Khamzat does what everyone seems to think he's going to do, I don't think he's just going to absolutely steamroll Gilbert Burns, but a lot of people feel like he's just going to run him over and do to Gilbert Burns what he's done to everybody else. If that happens,
that's a steamroll. Rather
than just screw over Leon altogether, let Usman take some more time. Just he's one of your most active champions. He's been very active the last couple of years. Let him take some time, get it in 100%. Let him hang out with his family, his daughter a little bit longer. Book an interim title fight for International Fight Week. Do Khamzat versus Leon Edwards, interim title. That's a big fight that people would care about, mostly because of Khamzat being on there. Whoever wins that fight and goes on to fight Usman, that fight is much bigger now. Like, it's much bigger. Khamzat fights Usman. It's already big, and it still could get bigger. But if Leon Edwards went on there, and it's a title fight, so he still gets a title fight. He gets more money. Khamzat gets a title fight, gets the bump and pay. It's a big spot. Whoever wins that fight with Usman instantly becomes bigger, especially if Leon wins. If Leon becomes the interim champion heading into a fight with Kamaru Usman after beating Khamzat Chimaev, the Jed Meshews of the world, who say that nobody cares about Leon Edwards, they will start to care about Leon Edwards. They will come around. That fight becomes massively
you kind of have
bigger.
to at that point.
Definitely. Now, Casey, Casey, I need a bit
sir.
of role play from you, sir. You are a resident fighter. You were around 170, right, for your fight. That was around the weight you came in at, right, around 170. So you are in Kamaru Usman and Khamzat Chimaev's division, essentially.
Yeah.
If you're Kamaru, now again, Micah said he's been a very busy champion. Maybe he wants to take time off. We don't know. This is speculation. If you're Kamaru and you see Khamzat beat Gilbert Burns, are you of the mindset that I want to and we've talked about this before, Mike. I want Khamzat now. I want Khamzat now before he reaches his final form. I don't want to fight the peak Khamzat. Also, again, there could come a point where Usman's slightly declining and Chimaev is rapidly rising. He might want to get him before that point. You're Usman. Let's say Saturday night, Chimaev runs through Burns. Are you immediately telling Ali or whoever runs your social media account, let's call out Chimaev, let's get him now, and let's tell the UFC we want him now?
Champs don't call out anyone. You're the champ. You're the champ. No, if Chimaev wins, doesn't matter how he wins. If he just wins, doesn't matter how he wins at all. To me, if Chimaev wins a grindy 15-minute decision, that's much scarier. To be honest, that's much scarier because that's my big thing right now. It's like, how can he do over 15 minutes? How can that's a big weight cut. Maybe 185, but at 170, that big weight cut, can he keep that strong wrestling, everything that he needs to win? Can he do it 15 minutes? If he can do it 15 minutes, I will find that much more impressive rather than if say he knocks out Gilbert Burns in 1 minute or whatever. But regardless, Usman absolutely needs to take that fight because Usman's a prize fighter. Chimaev is freaking great if he wins tomorrow. Yeah, you fight him as early as possible, and you don't want to get him later when say he loses a fight sometime down the line. This is the maximum earning potential right now for Usman and Chimaev. So absolutely, you take that fight next week as long as Usman's ready, soon as possible, because that's where the most money is, the most hype. Chimaev wins big, especially if he wins big, I guess. At least from the fan perspective, he wins big early tomorrow. Yeah, take that fight as soon as possible. As long as you're healthy.
Mike,
I think we all agree though that either way, Leon Edwards is the biggest Gilbert Burns fan on the planet right now, right? I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah,
I understand. I mean, you just have to feel. Have to feel that way.
He's not skipping over. It's just not happening.
Oh,
Jose, confident. It's all nice to talk about and pretend that's happening. It's just not going to happen.
But Jose, why has it not been signed yet? Then why have they not signed Usman and Edwards, or at least made some obvious commitment to that matchup?
Because I think it's the location they want to sort out first before they do anything.
But they've announced fights about locations plenty of times.
I think if it's the fights in the UK, they got to figure something else out. They got to sort something out. That's what I'm saying. The Edwards Usman fight, that's happening. We're gonna have to stop pretending that Khamzat's skipping the line. That is going to happen, whether it's in the UK or Dallas or Anaheim. It's going to happen. Now, if you want to do the interim title fight against Khamzat in the UK too, because Dana White wants to go to Manchester and London again by the end of the year, I think that's an awesome interim fight, especially for the London card, because as you saw, Dana White has said the biggest mistake he made on that London card is not putting a title fight. The Underground's John Morgan is sitting here streaming next to me too.
The interim idea I like. The interim idea I like so much because not only does it gets everybody what they want, right? Leon gets his title fight. Khamzat gets a big opportunity. They book a fight that they've tried to make a million times. Hi, John. Look at this guy.
Hey, John Morgan.
I can talk to you guys now. I can admit that you guys exist now. You're actually real people now. I want you to know that. In my world, you actually exist now. You never did before, but now you do. I've been listening to Mike Heck stuff lately. He's really good. This guy's good.
Oh, we should hire this guy.
He's pretty fantastic. He's pretty fantastic.
Hi, everybody.
You guys, so the underground recently started a YouTube channel. So
did John Morgan go in the basement? Did he hit the elevator button?
The elevator, yeah.
John Morgan literally just busted his ass and fell down trying to do that bit.
I don't know who's watching this. I don't know if Eric's watching this right now. You clip that, son. You clip that. That was a tremendous promo right there.
We're gonna need that as a GIF as well, I think.
Unbelievable. Wow. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. By the way, the interim thing. It makes everybody happy. Everybody's happy. And then Usman, the prize fighter, who keeps calling for Canelo, which he's never, ever in 5 million years going to get, even in his wildest fantasies, he gets the biggest fight possible. His fight, it's just, he gets more money. Like, all that stuff. Like, everything works out for everybody if you do the interim thing. And I know, like, people throw that word out, and it's just silly, and it creates, like, almost a cringy look when you hear interim. But in this case, like, it makes sense. It's a glorified number one contender fight, but it still makes everybody happy. And I think that's the way to go. And then Usman gets the winner. You can do it at freaking MSG.
It's a pay-per-view
main. Like, if Khamzat wins, you do Khamzat Usman at freaking MSG. It'd be insane.
Yeah, the interim fight makes total sense. I mean, for the UFC, like, oh god, the UFC wants Gilbert Burns to lose so bad because there's so much money on the table. There's so much money on the table. If Hosma, yeah, can't even say anything now. If he wins, but yeah, I like interim time. I like interim fights, and UFC loves doing the whole belt versus belt thing. You know, so it's good. It's good.
We'll see what happens.
Well,
I love the fight.
But you know what? But don't
Jose,
worry. They're all just keeping the belt warm for Rachmaninoff. That's all. Don't worry. About it.
Yeah.
Don't worry. He is the real welterweight prospect.
Planting the seeds.
He doesn't say the smash thing. He doesn't hit the tables. He just beats people up. So we'll wait. We'll wait on him.
So I forget who said this. Someone said it this week, and I thought it was hilarious. And it just shows like how people view Chimaev because of the smash thing and stuff. Someone was like, I feel like Chimaev is one of those guys where like you just pull back a string on his back and like he's just going to say one of 10 things.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but you know what's cool is like nobody cares. Like they just want to hear the man speak.
It's the
he'll say one of those lines, he'll take the microphone and he'll slam it on the table and everyone will pop for it. Like it was so crazy to watch. He's slamming the microphone. Like as a guy who's been in audio and stuff and broadcasting for a long time, like that is an absolute no-no. And every time I heard it, I was like, stop doing that. But at the same, but people ate it up. They ate it up. Yeah. That is that exact aura this man exudes. It's really, it's honestly incredible to see.
And for Chimaev, he needs to do he's a less is more type guy. Yeah. Just enough. If he starts doing too many interviews, he's great because he's a mystery. He just does these kind of interviews on the side with Darren Till every once in a while. Like less is more. He's everything about him is what sells because it's the mystery, and people love that. And as far as prize fighting, it works, man. It's so good.
If someone out there in the comments, or I'm sure one of us could do it, could edit the Bart Simpson "Say the Line" Bart clip.
Say the line, Bart.
Say the line, Khamzat. Smash. Yay! Yeah. If someone could just edit that, that'd probably take you like 2 seconds. I could probably do it. Anyway,
by the way, if you listen to Heck of a Morning on Thursday, there's these serious discussions. If it's in the works. Rachmaninoff versus Neil Magny in June.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it looks like it's happening. It's not done. It's not 100% yet, but it's being discussed. It's been agreed upon. Just dotting the I's, crossing the T's. But yeah, late June. I think we're going to see that fight.
We've talked about it before. I said that's kind of like the Khamzat proxy that Magny's been. If you can't get Khamzat, maybe Shavkat, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know if you noticed the clock.
Yeah, what's going on?
Tybura, we're about 3 minutes away from the limit.
Oh yeah, wow.
I know.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're hanging out with your best friends, right?
2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh, it's good to laugh. There's 2 people left to weigh in. Marcin Tybura, who we weren't worried about because he's a heavyweight, but even by heavyweight standard, this is like Overeem. Remember that one time Overeem was like came in late? And
what if could Tybura, as like a big brother, could he just like stand there and like hold Arce back and just run up with 1 second left?
Yeah. Seniority rules, buddy. Seniority rules.
Or you just have to be in the room and then like The carryover's okay.
I hope there's not a buzzer beating. We're under 2 minutes.
2 minutes left. 2 minutes
Mike,
left.
you mentioned Julio Arce, a former featherweight. His last fight was at bantamweight, but again, this is still a relatively new weight class for him. Not an easy, as we always say, when you get down to those lower weight classes, once you get down, 155, 135, 125, etc., that gap is so small. It's hard. It's really hard to make that weight. So, guys, we're counting down together. I will say, sorry, the poll before whatever we get to the conclusion here. 59% saying that Khamzat can leapfrog Leon Edwards with a win at 273. Again, as I was going to say earlier, Jose, very confident this won't happen. Jose is very confident. It's a matter of location for Usman and Edwards. That's really the sticking point. The rest of us, again,
I am with the fans on that one. Yeah.
A little suspicious with the no signing and the no sort of hard push for that fight, but location certainly would be important for it. That could be the sticking point for Dana White and the matchmakers and officials. So, but yeah, about
movement.
Here we go. A minute to go.
I have the timer music right
now. Oh boy. It is Tybura, not Julio Arce.
Maybe my theory was true.
Official weight 253 for Marcin Tybura.
253, 253. Marcin Tybura. His fight with Jairzinho. His fight with Jairzinho is official.
Don't worry.
I'm sorry, we have the drama.
10, 9, 5.
Oh god, what do we do?
3.
Which one do I shoot? Guys?
Time's up.
Time is up. No Julio Arce.
Anik. I'm looking at Anik right now. I just got to look in his eye.
Can we give Jairzinho and Marcin the music, please, Casey? Thank you. Guys, normally I shut down like immediately. Like my programming shuts down immediately when the weigh-ins. This is uncharted territory.
Going on?
We're past the E. When you're driving and you're like, oh, we're way past the E. And you're like, whatever. I got fumes. I got enough fumes to make it.
This event feels historic. It feels different.
This is Duval time going on.
And normally, a fighter doesn't make the weigh-in window. That is obviously considered a miss. The fight is definitely in jeopardy. This is bizarre. It sounds like Mike sounds like on site. Everyone's also kind of unsure of how to proceed here.
What are we doing?
I'm just waiting, man. Like
we're out of the show. Let's go. We're done. Let's go.
Maybe Arce's in the building. We don't know. Who knows? Maybe his team's texting furiously right now. Like, we're right there. We're coming. We went to the wrong ballroom. Or whatever. We're on the other side. We're on the east wing.
Hold on. I think it's happening. Okay. We got cameras.
This is not official.
Commission man is coming out.
Casey saying this weigh-in should not count.
It's not, look at the we have a timer.
I'm telling you, maybe Tybura
if you go in the negatives, it needs to tick back like -1, -2. You want to know how much fell on.
Dude, he looks rough.
All right.
He's got a second win though.
That scale was bouncing a lot.
Okay, so they're going to get the.
Whoa, hold on. Okay, thank you. Yeah, guy, keep your head there. Yes. Commission guy, keep your head right there, please.
All right, here comes the box.
That was a very strategic head. Oh my goodness.
We almost got a Tito Ortiz Triller moment.
Are we bringing out the box of shame?
Well, we don't know.
The box blank right now. Possibly redemption. Hopefully redemption for Julio Arce.
Can be the box of redemption.
Trying to figure out how to place down the box of blank.
Guys, this isn't complicated. This is.
I mean, you are seeing how the sausage is made right now.
What?
No, they have the curtain on the wrong
spot. That's not how it goes.
Doing?
What are you doing?
The logo is not in the right spot.
Wait, why is
Why wouldn't you turn? I've never seen that before.
Okay, everything's off. Nothing is
never
official.
seen someone go in the side of like that.
Okay, first off, where's Julio? Where is Arce? Oh, there he is. Okay.
Oh boy.
Let's see what happens.
His hands are high. He is not touching the box.
Jose, can you zoom out real quick for the scale? Thank you. Thank you. It's like 3 minutes.
136 and a half.
136.5. The official weight for Julio Arce, half a pound over the
136.5. 136.5 for Julio Arce. So that is a miss on the first attempt. I have to imagine he won't. We are, again, way past the 2-hour window at this point, unless they're going to give him an extra. This is very confusing. I don't know if he's someone. 136.5.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
his fight with Daniel Santos is not official. But our weigh-ins are complete for now. Mike, go ahead. I guess give us kind of a downer of an ending to the weigh-ins.
This is a bummer. What happened here? I was all excited.
Listen, you know what?
Well, I know how I'm going to do this now. Like, okay. I have to do it this way.
Oh my goodness, hit us.
Once I hear the music, I got to do it the way that I'm about to do it.
Do it, Mike.
There it is. All right. UFC 273 going down tomorrow night. We're going to go from the first fight to the last fight. We just saw Julio Arce missed weight by half a pound, 136 and a half. His fight with Daniel Santos, who weighted at 135, is not official yet. I assume it will happen. And there you go. He's not going to weigh in again. Not surprising. Piera Rodriguez weighted at 115 for her UFC debut. She takes on Kay Hansen, who also missed weight. She missed by 2.5 pounds, 118 and a half. Fight will go forward. 20% of Hansen's purse goes to Rodriguez. And then everybody else was good to go. All official fights. Anthony Hernandez, 186, takes on the debuting Josh Fremd, 185.5. Aleksei Oleinik weighted at 244. Opportunity for win number 60. Takes on Jared Vanderaa, weighed 266. Mickey Gall takes on Mike Malott, 170.5 for both fighters. Aspen Ladd, successful in her return to bantamweight, 136, takes on Raquel Rocky Pennington, 134.5. Jairzinho Rozenstruik, 252.5, takes on Marcin Tybura, weighted at 253. Ian Garry versus Darian Weeks, the featured ESPN prelim, 170.5 for each fighter. Vinc Pichel versus Marco Madsen opens up the main card. Pichel weighted at 155.5, Madsen at 155. Mackenzie Dern takes on Tecia Torres, 115.5 for both fighters. The featured bout, the one everyone's got their eye on, Gilbert Burns takes on Khamzat Chimaev. Both fighters weighed in 170 pounds. Aljamain Sterling takes on Petr to unify the UFC Bantamweight Championship of the world. Sterling weighted at 134.5, and in a very emotional weigh-in, Petr weighted at 134, fired up, and then the show is going to close with the UFC Featherweight Championship on the line. Alexander Volkanovski defends against the Korean Zombie, Chan Sung Jung. Alexander Volkanovski and the Zombie both weighing in at 144.5. As the great John Anik would say, one more sleep, baby. One more sleep.
Well done, Mike. Perfect handling of the situation. I like that. You flip the script. You like to normally go top to bottom. You flip the script. Ending, of course, with the champs, all of whom, again, showed up pretty early. Guys, that is our kind of loungy leaving music. A little later than usual. Don't blame us. Julio Arce came in after the 2-hour weigh-in window, but thank you for everyone who stuck around, everyone who turned in early. Of course, everyone who voted in the polls, most importantly. I'm sure you guys had questions and comments. We will get to some of those later. Stay tuned, guys. Of course, we'll have a UFC 273 preview show this after. Will it be before or after the weigh-in ceremonials?
I think it's scheduled for before.
Okay, we're thinking before.
I'm just here. Yeah.
Hey,
when I get the hot tag, I'm in. That's all.
Listen, this is live television. Who knows what could happen? But we are planning to do that. We'll have a preview later show today, a little more in depth with our picks. Definitely take some listener questions. But thank you guys. Thank you, of course, Jose on site, Mike on site, EKC Leiden in the truck, in the MMA fighting truck. Very spacious, handling the production as always. He's on the ones and twos, and of course, I'm your host, Alexander K. Lee. You'll see a lot more of us guys over the next couple of days. But for now, peace out.
Wait, is John Morgan okay? Have we checked on John Morgan?
Yeah, can you call him up from the basement? Hit the up button.
Yeah, I have to find him.
All right.
Yeah.
I gotta go find him.
See you guys.